Say hello.
Testing.
Yeah,
Testing.
Hopefully.
It looked like we were muted.
Okay, all right.
It should be, I see the microphone bouncing.
I saw that. Okay, I
Thank you.
apologize.
No.
Sorry.
That's okay. So we're building a park and we're building community. This was our cleanup just this past spring, and you can see the Geneseo students that really worked on the hamlet, as well as our local Boy Scout troop. The annual Arbor Day tree planting, which was done in collaboration with the Tree Advisory Committee, and another native tree was planted right here at the Town Hall campus. This is Christian Carroll, who designed this beautiful information sharing kiosk. It's right at the entrance of the park. And it's a nice way to greet visitors when they come, if nobody's there, if none of the volunteers are there, or no one's working there, and they can share their experiences at the park as well as leave comments. Students from the summer camp, the Hindu summer camp, also visited the park this year, and it was an educational opportunity for them as well as a volunteer opportunity. I'm very proud we are encouraging and facilitating volunteerism and stewardship with younger generations. And then this past year on June 11th was the tree planting for Jerry Bishoping. It was very well attended, and his whole family was there to help participate and plant this tree in remembrance of Jerry. We also have some community outreach. So Janet Chase did a native plant presentation for the Asbury First United Methodist Church this past spring. We also had a booth at the Adirondack Mountain Club. That was in June. That was really exciting. A lot of people that stopped by had driven by or seen the park and wanted more information. And then also, this is our second year collaborating with St. John Fisher, the sustainability class, which are mostly freshmen. So they are learning the importance of native species sustainability, and they're going to be out at the park on November 1st to plant trees. So why plant trees? We've been doing a lot of it. To prevent erosion, enhance the riparian buffer, and to protect the Genesee River. To provide habitat for wildlife, especially endangered native species. To mitigate climate change by cooling temperatures and sequestering carbon. And to provide a beautiful destination for human visitors. So this just piggybacks. We did talk about this last year as well. It was in spring 2023 that we received the grant of 480 native trees. It was awarded to us by the U.S. Forest Service and in partnership with Monroe County Soil and Water Conservation District. So this was over 5 growing seasons, and we are now on our leg of this journey. This autumn, we'll be planting the remainder of the trees. So in this past year, there was a fall 2024 planting. So you can see here the volunteers, they're planting, digging holes, planting, mulching, caging, watering the trees. It was a cold day in December. And then in this past spring, we were planting as well. We're planting, mulching, caging, and watering. The trees that we've planted have all been in the dormant stage. So it takes, it's a lot of effort planting the tree, making sure that it's mulched, that it's caged. All of the trees too that we have planted, I really want to reiterate this, that they are native species. Just to name a few, the hickory, bitternut shagbark, pin oaks, red oaks, swamp white oaks, maple, and black gum. So it's a great benefit really for the ecosystem to have all these native trees. I'm gonna turn
So we want to kind of brag about our volunteers. I should talk into the mic. So we want to brag about our volunteers, some of which are in the audience, and we've just done a lot of outreach to increase how many volunteers and the diversity of volunteers. So now we have a lot of young people volunteering. We've had RIT, we've had Geneseo, you know, tens of, you know, kids come in cars and kids come in buses and help plant these trees and help maintain the park. So it's really been amazing. Want to talk about our native gardens that we've started planting. Hopefully you can get a chance to see these, even if you're driving by. They're very close to the parking area and the open areas. So we're planting all native perennials because our local birds can living on our native species, you know, invasive species and species from other countries just really don't, our insects won't live there, and that's the predominant food for our birds. So we're really, as Beth was mentioning, we're really planting all native plants and stressing that. This summer, we bought a commercial flail mower that goes on the back of our tractor. Now we're able to do a lot of mowing. So we're mowing trails now. We are maintaining our open fields. We have a lot of invasives out there that we're trying to maintain for the right kind of habitat for these grassland birds that are an endangered grouping of birds due to habitat loss. We've had over 20 different educational programs for the community. I think our most popular, and I really encourage everyone to try to get out there next spring in May, is the Bluebell Walk. The 100-acre Nature Park has one of the largest bluebell patches in the area that I know of. If others know of other areas, they're probably secret because they're so beautiful. Geneseo has one also, and the Genesee Land Conservancy protects that patch. But you might see small bunches of them, but the area at the park is over an acre large. They are intermixed with these beautiful ferns, so it's really quite a photo op and a really kind of a almost magical time if anyone's seen it. Really wonderful. So we've done a lot of bird and nature walks. We're partnering with the Rochester Birding Associations, and we have Amick Micken of that association who's been giving a lot of these talks and walks. And I did my first bird walk this summer. It was really rewarding. There's a lot of experts in the group. It was really well attended, a lot of enthusiasm there for birding is a big thing now. I think nationally, I don't know, it's a really good growing thing. It's almost like pickleball, right? Like everybody's doing it. And it's serious. Like my friends who are like, they never birded, all of a sudden they're becoming birders and they're like, oh, I just saw this bird, you know, so it's really fun. So I have a list of all, you know, some of the birds that we saw that day is all that verbiage there. And some of them are much more rare or threatened than the others. They're not your average robin. But anyway, they're there at the park. There's a lot of great habitat at the park. So we're really fortunate to have that kind of resource so close and within the town. So it's great. This year is the first year I think this is our first year of doing these children's programs. Really trying to get kids, little kids. So get your kids, grandkids, friends' kids involved in these local walks. We're just trying to get kids okay with touching a bug or, you know, picking up a flower and understanding what it does and what it is. And so just trying to make things fun and get kids involved. So that's new this year. At night, we've done, I think 2 years in a row, the bat walks, and those were really, really well attended by a lot of young people as well. So it's just, our outreach has really been trying to get the next generation because we're a bunch of old people here. So we need the next generation to come along and become the next stewards for the park. So that's been really encouraging seeing the young people get involved. You know, you probably know that New York State is, our bat population is severely impacted by that fungal infection that's fatal to them. So the park has a lot of great habitat that they're living in. And so that those bat walks, I guess people did see people did see bats, right? Anyone that was there? So, yeah, I'm gonna go. It's just at night. And whatever. So I did go to the medicinal plant walk and that was great. Really well attended, couple local experts, talk about what plants can do for us. How our native ancestors use these different plants for different things like headaches or what have you. I'm showing a white baneberry there, and that plant is really a common pain reliever. And then forest bathing, you may have heard that this is, new research is showing that walking in the woods for like 10 minutes a day is going to lower your blood pressure and it's going to really reduce your stress. And so it's kind of interesting that studies have shown that. So that was another one of our walks. Our most recent walk last week was on winter sowing, which is a really fun thing that a lot of people, almost like pickleball, right? It's really becoming a thing that everyone's doing now. So you get native plant seeds and then you put them in these little containers, you set them outside. And then by spring, you've got these little seedlings coming along. By May, you're ready to plant. So you've got a really nice seed coming, really nice plant started. So Beth and I have both been mentioning native versus invasive plants. And so we really do struggle with a lot of invasives at the park. If you looked around your properties, you would probably also see a lot of invasives. I struggle with them at my own property. But mugwort is one of our invasives in our open fields. And so mowing has become our method of maintenance for that invasive species. And this picture on the lower part is where we invited a local vendor who just plants native perennials. And they brought a lot of plants for one of our walks and shared them with the community. So this year, this is the first year that Rush has become Tree City, has gotten that distinction. So I think we partner with the Tree Advisory Board. We're planting trees. We're part of the mix there. So we're going to also be helping right along with the Tree Advisory Board to maintain that status, which I think there's an annual reporting thing going on. So Rush RPA will be involved in that and has been. And then another distinction I think has been the old growth forest designation for the northern part of the 100 acres there. So it's pretty neat. The northern part, we had a representative from the Old Growth Forest Network come and walk into the woods and definitely, said, okay, you've got this. They had to come all the way from Vermont and on a busy schedule, but they did this longish walk and way out back and definitely said that we had the old growth forest there. So now we have that designation too, which I think is another really nice honor. And it does speak to the very, great habitat and nature of. So hopefully we've kept in some time here for any questions that anyone may have. And I don't want to take up a lot of time, but it's been really, thank you for hearing us out and being so supportive. The town's been really great. So really appreciate it.
Any questions? No.
We have a new exciting website. One of our board members works on very hard. So if you ever get a chance, go to rushrpa.org. Also another thank you to our volunteers. They have been amazing. So really, really appreciate that. And our board members.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all you do.
Public comment period. Anyone has any public comments not related to the budget? We'll take care of the budget during the public hearing.
Good evening. My name is Janet Glocker, a resident of the Rush side of Rush Town Line Road. I'm a party on various DMM sites for Horseshoe and Niagara Mohawk. I admit to being overwhelmed with the documents being posted. I appreciate being added to the communication between the town and Invenergy. Thank you, Councilman Keyes and Supervisor Wolford. My concern tonight is about horizontal directional drilling, HDD, a process that Invenergy plans to use to bore under the Genesee River. We've known this for some time, but the new news is that Invenergy plans to use HDD to bore under land in Rush that has been identified as sensitive for Seneca materials. Underground boring will certainly disturb soil and potentially water flows at a time when we are experiencing extreme drought. What about those of us on wells and dependent on underground aquifers, no matter how far we are from the HDD entry and exit sites? HDD can cause ecological harm above ground. It's occurring now in Genesee County at the area of the STAMP Technology and Advanced Manufacturing Project, otherwise known as STAMP. In 2022, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service gave permission for 9 miles of HDD to bring water to STAMP. The horizontal drilling in the spring of 2024 resulted in hundreds of gallons of toxic materials coming to the surface. Fish and Wildlife revoked the boring permission, stating that the slurry causes, quote, increased turbidity, a change in water chemistry, and exposes plants and animals to potentially harmful chemicals, close quote. I respectfully ask the town of Rush to proceed very carefully. Invenergy is asking ARES for permission to bore beneath land next month, November 2025. A change in both the date and the area to be drilled. Thank you. I'll send this document and ask that it be part of the official record.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Guy. Robin Rapport, Rush, someplace. Meadowood, that's where it is. Okay, I would like to address the last minute change to Horseshoe Solar's schedule for horizontal drilling across or through or under the Genesee River and the related dangers to Rush's water table and contamination of the aquifer. But first, some history. In order to support 600,000 solar panels, Horseshoe Solar will drive 40,000 to 60,000 steel pipes, 8 to 12 feet into the ground over an area of roughly 6 square miles. After speaking with the U.S. Geological Service, I sent a detailed letter outlining the potentially dangerous impact to the water source this would have for Rush and surrounding towns. I sent copies to the Department of Public Service, to ARES, to COMETA, to Kathy Hochul, whoever that is, to state and local representatives, to print and TV news stations, and to all the members of the town board. The result? Nothing. No questions, no investigation, nothing. Invenergy's lawyers have minimized the problems of this massive solar construction. They have gamed the system by moving to ARES fast track when their Article 10 application was challenged with deficiencies. In the filing documents, Invenergy's lawyers are constantly utilizing confidentiality redactions to limit the amount of information available to citizens, massive filings, redactions for anything, bird nesting, Indian settlements, noise levels of equipment, etc. The operation to perform, here we go, the operation to perform horizontal drilling across the Genesee River will be under the jurisdiction of the Army Corps of Engineers, the same agency that designed the flood preparedness for New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. Give you a second to remember what that was about. Invenergy's documentation details the fracking operation to drill 7 pipes under the Genesee River. The equipment required to do this is the same as used by oil fracking operations and will use 3 railroad-sized, boxcar-sized machines with a cumulative weight of over 100 tons. Each one of these 3 basic machines has a 600 horsepower engine and will be running 13 hours a day, 7 days a week, with 1 hour relaxed on Sunday. Instead of 13 hours, be 12 hours on Sunday. there's no schedule for how long that's going to be running. It's until they're done with their work, whatever that means. So if you're nearby, my sympathy. And by the way, Invenergy is getting ready to add battery backup to their Horseshoe Solar site, despite what they've said in the past. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary Ann Rizzo, Stoll Road. I am concerned with the boring under the river. I think Janet said it was 60 feet under the river. And it is a serious concern of mine. I am close to the river site. And at one point, Invenergy said they were going to test my well. And they haven't done that yet. They were going to do a pre-test and then later do a post-test. So what I would like the board, one thing I think the board can do is urge Invenergy to do the testing of the wells before they do the boring. And I would encourage you to please follow through on that, if you could consider following through on that for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, move on to the public hearing for the budget.
Public hearing on October 22nd, 2025 for the 2026 preliminary budget for the town of Rush has been completed and filed in the office of the Rush Town Clerk, will be available for inspection by any interested person during regular office hours beginning on October 15th, 2025. The Rush Town Board will hold a public hearing on October 22nd, 2025 at 7:15 p.m. at Rush Town Hall offices at 5977 East Henrietta Road, Rush, New York. At such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against the preliminary budget as applied. The preliminary budget includes the following proposed salaries for the elected officials for 2026. Supervisor, $17,170. Town board members, 4 each, $8,673. Town clerk, $72,134. Town justices, 2 each, $18,512. Highway superintendent, $98,220. This notice has been posted according to the law.
Would you like me to grab the list or?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, I'm closer. I'll grab.
Mary Ann Rizzo.
Mary Ann Rizzo, 25 Stoll Road. From what I can see, the preliminary budget appears to be unsustainable over time. I would ask that you try to trim the budget. If you trim a little bit now, the next board won't be faced with such a shortfall. Because next year, I think there's going to be a need for even a bigger trim. If you don't trim it now. It sounds like you're going to keep it at a 2% tax cap or somewhere near a 2% tax cap. But it also seems, from what I could see, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're going to take money out of the expended fund balance in order to sustain this balance and keep it at 2%. So I don't know if you report that to the citizens that you're going to keep it at 2%. I hope that you're also going to report how much you're taking out of the fund balance. And just do correct me, please. Is it $1 million? Is it $970,000 out of the fund balance? So what I understand about the fund balance is that the fund balance is a resource for capital improvements and for emergencies. And as I understand it, the town has to keep about 30, maybe 32% in there for the beginning of the budget year in January, February, until tax dollars are collected. So to spend a lot of that now, I think, and I don't know, I have a question, is how much is going to be left in the fund balance after you're done taking this away. And I think we're investing some of that fund balance right now, so we're gonna lose that investment. So I do think it's just taking now and not really dealing with problem. So I believe the fund balance is more like a rainy day fund for emergencies and maybe capital improvements. So I don't believe it's sustainable the way that it looks like it's happening. So I would ask that you maybe across the board cut certain percentage off each area to make it sustainable. The other thing is I went online to see the preliminary budget and it was topsy-turvy. Some of it was sideways, some of it was upside down. So I did contact the town hall and they told me to just load it onto my computer and adjust it on my computer. But I think you should, if you could still fix it, because I think the residents would like to see it and not have to download it, change it. And if you could fix it so that we can see it right from there, I would appreciate it. And my big question is how much money is going to be left in the fund balance when this is all done? Thank you.
Thank you. Kirsten?
I'm Kirsten Flass. I live at 77 West Rush Road, and I'm the library director. I'm here to address the potential health insurance changes for town employees that were offered as one remedy for the town budget issues. This is not the first time we've been here as a town. This is the third or fourth time in the last 15 years that our health insurance contracts have been changed to save the town money. And each time, the town has given employees higher copays, which works out to be a pay cut for us. We do not have a union like teachers, firefighters, postal workers, or electricians do to fight for us. So I'm here to do it. The public might not know that Rush town staff in general work at a lower rate of pay compared to the private sector or education sector. Anyone can use the website called seethroughnewyork.net to check salaries of town employees or any other labor sector and can see for themselves that we do not make any kind of outrageous salary working here. Have a look at the facts. We are not getting rich here. A high deductible plan for middle-aged staff with any kind of pre-existing condition will create a financial hardship and is a terrible choice. Maybe that would be appropriate for a young, healthy new employee, but it would be financially damaging to most of us already working here. Choosing that option will hurt the most faithful, hardworking staff with the most institutional knowledge, and those like me who have stayed loyal to the town after several building disasters. I've had a roof leaking onto my desk and inside the library for nearly 20 years in a row due to ice damming. The library is still recovering from the children's room disaster caused by the sprinkler system 18 months ago, and since then I've put in many extra hours being a project manager for the recovery beyond my normal hours with no extra pay. Town employees are still managing the effects of the June flooding event, working above and beyond their regular jobs. We stay in our jobs because we love our town and our jobs, and because we full-timers were promised good health insurance and a moderate state pension at retirement when we were hired. I want everyone to keep in mind that any state pension we earn is also small when our gross pay is small. Our retirement pension is based on our salary, and I don't get to boost that by working overtime. Instead of solving the budget problem on the backs of employees, I'm asking the town board and the planning and zoning boards to think more creatively about increasing the revenue coming into the town and not just rely on raising taxes on homeowners and reducing the pay package of employees. I'm asking you to be more agreeable about allowing small businesses into town. They will help provide much needed revenue. There are those who say they want Rush to stay rural and don't want us to become like Henrietta in terms of retail and housing development. And those same people are forcing us to go to Henrietta to shop for basic necessities. Who benefits from that? Henrietta business owners and taxpayers are the ones to reap the rewards of our shopping dollars. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with residents having to do most of their spending outside of this town? Rush used to have many small businesses while remaining a rural community. Can we creatively make that work again? You are asking employees to take a financial hit to improve this challenging budget. What I do not hear is town board members or sub-board members offering to take a pay cut so we can stay rural. If you are going to change our health insurance, I urge you to be more innovative about other ways to increase revenue for your town, for this town. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kelsey?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kelsey, resident on Middle Road. I've been attending the workshops in the budget and finally having sort of a paper copy in hand to follow along with what's having been said over the past few weeks is definitely helpful. I think honestly, it probably would have been helpful to have that in hand far earlier in the conversation so we could track it a little bit better, because now trying to reflect on what was said in the workshops, it can be quite difficult to track that. I have one major overarching concern, which is when we look at all the discussions that have happened, there's been a lot of, I think, representations of one person or this person or that person, but not really looking at a collective data set to say, with this data, with the claims of all the employees who are on the health insurance plan right now, this is what it's telling us. This is how many times they're going to primary care. This is how many times they're going to a specialist. This is the type of coverage they need. Having a data set like that, which you should have access to if you speak to the insurance broker, you should be able to get anonymized information like that tells you what people are doing with their insurance. That's really where you're going to drive the core of a data-driven strategic decision on whether to change this plan or not. Base it on what's really happening right now, instead of just sitting here and saying, we think this or this one population is representative here. Let's look at the collective. That's an overarching theme that it seems to be happening across a lot of the different issues within the budget. I took a look with the best I could with the time I had at what we're spending this year versus what's upcoming in 2026. And there's just a lot of things that they're not aligning, right? So I'll just pull one line from, I think it's the highway expenditures here, machinery and equipment. So we were told in one of the workshops that we had to expend some new equipment. We had to get new trucks, the new backhoe. It kind of happened quickly because there was a good deal that we could get this year instead of postponing it. But if you look at what we spent in at least the year end projection for 2025, we're at $159,999. Next year, we're at $377,000. Right? It doesn't align unless we see more of the data that's supporting what is the equipment we're going to be purchasing next year. What are we going to expect in a lot of these different avenues to understand why we're increasing over, dramatically over what we're doing this year? Even if we're looking at small cost cutting, I took a look at the general fund, quickly scanned for something like printing and paper, office supplies. We're talking $40,000 over the course of a year in office supplies, right? There's ways to tighten the belt. And I think that we just need to see from our town board and the employees who are working on this, either part-time or full-time, the data that's really driving why we're in the position we're in and how we're going to correct it in the future. I think, as Marianne said, it's not going to be sustainable. And having that plan and understanding, not only this year, but looking forward into the future, is really what the residents need, instead of talking back and forth about just, small snapshots of information. So overall, again, my core concern is, where is the data that's really driving these decisions and justifying the changes we may or may not be making? Because I think it'd be a lot easier for the townspeople to digest the information if they had that data in front of them as well, or could at least hear the verbal reports from you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Ellen?
Yellen from Middle Road. It's hot in here tonight. Thank you for the heat, but maybe somebody could turn it down. Anyway, I'm here because I do think, and I want to support the librarian, because I understand and I can hear her concerns about health insurance. I could also hear something that I wanted to talk to you about tonight, which is, I think, in some ways, part of your overall process. When I sat here a few months ago and there were some suggestions that were brought up. Instead of thinking about them, processing them, talking about them, one particular board member kind of got yelled at for making some suggestions. I don't want to say that I don't hear suggestions from you. I want to say, I need to hear more. I need to hear how you think. You know, it's not a bad thing to show the community who you are, what your priorities are, what's important to you. I think the librarian brought up an excellent point about health insurance. Now, she says that about the state system maybe not being a great pension. Not everybody who retires from somebody place gets a pension. However, the retirement system does guarantee you health insurance. And that health insurance is critical. We are not going anywhere in the future without seeing health insurance costs rise. And that's a problem for all of us. We have to look at it creatively. Creativity is a good thing at a town level, and especially someplace like Rush. You have a lot of resources here. You have a lot of smart people. You have a lot of professional people. And then you also have a lot of people who've been around a long time and who have seen problems with their own finances and their own issues. And you say, well, that doesn't really count at the town level, but it does, because you've all heard, don't spend money you don't have. So I also have to say, I think the librarian was spot on when she talked about the different boards and how they can be helpful. I know there's a lot of towns where board members in planning, zoning, conservation, different boards do not get paid. And I understand people say, well, good people will leave. It may not be true. I think because good people do it out of the goodness of their heart and for the goodness of their town. And if they do go, there's always somebody else who might be interested in doing that type of service, because it is service. It's service to your community. I did hear, and this is hearsay, so I'm going to upfront for the attorney and all of you, that someone did call the town clerk and asked to have the budget paperwork uploaded again so that it was more easily seen and understood. And was told basically that they could do it themselves. In some ways, and it's not particularly for the town clerk, but this is just one example of, sometimes I feel when I'm here talking about different things that have affected me personally, the stormwater drainage and other issues, that I'm working for you. You're not working for me. And I want you to work for me because I want to stay here. I want to live here. I want to have a safe place here. And I want to be able to share my voice here. And that's why I'm here tonight. And I've been here before. And sometimes I feel like, and I looked on the website, and Kelsey will yell at me, but I did Google it, how many total employees are in the town of Rush, because we don't really see that. We see the elected officials, but I don't know how many other people were here. Basically, it says less than 25. So some of the numbers that I see for health insurance don't really make a lot of sense for some of the things that we've talked about with only 25 people. And I just say it would be easier if there were aggregate numbers, easier if it was a little clearer, totally spelled out. This is what we have, this is what we're spending. It doesn't matter. You've got the department breakouts, but you could put it in an aggregate number so that the average person and the town board could understand what's going on and communicate what they'd like. So kudos to everybody who spoke, and probably not the last time you'll hear from us, but the last thing I want to say is fund balance should be sacred. However, we have a lot of fund balance, and in small increments to different projects over the course of 2 or 3 years, you could probably resolve a lot of the issues that you have. When I hear the librarian talk about 25 years of being rained on, I say to myself, why wasn't that fixed sooner? And if you have $1 million in a fund balance and you use a percentage or two toward, let's say, a salt barn, you pretty much have that resolved. So look for the resolutions that are easy. Look for the resolutions that may be challenging but creative. Look for something and talk and ask questions, because that way we know you're actually accountable and you're actually thinking about these things. So in some ways more than we are, because we're not here doing this all the time. But I just feel that some of the past meetings, nobody had questions, nobody had concerns, and now here we are again. Where do we go from here? So I know that you'll all look very closely at this tonight, and hopefully when we have the next public hearing, we'll have some better information and some creative solutions to these problems that face us all. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Catherine Hankins.
Catherine Hankins, 2353 Pinnacle Road. I had attempted to give some data at the last meeting. I spent hours looking into it, and it clearly was not reflected in any of the findings for the preliminary budget. Someone mentioned see-through New York. I can't support the library more, and she is absolutely right. But we have part-timers, 20 hours a week, making more money than our librarian. And it's all available online. And what I produced last time was clearer. But we have a history in this town and in this county where elected officials do not take pay increases. We do not have yet the cost of living for seniors, but it's expected to be only 2.6%. That's all. And last time, because I was interrupted, I was responsible for helping with the budget in 21, 22. When we had the assessment go up, we made a beginning point of reducing the tax levy to accommodate that without jeopardizing the salaries and the benefits for our employees. It's too late to even consider taking away benefits. We're in almost November. You have to give notice. Maybe you didn't read the rules. You can't just say, hey, you don't have insurance on January 1st. Now, maybe the town could get away with it, but normally all the seniors got, or at least we did, got notice that all of the insurances have changed. You have 20 days until December 31st to make a new choice. You have to, and I recall 2 years ago, it was agreed that we would start in the next year to start to look at this. Every time we come to this, it's still the same old story. Next year. Do not kick this can down the road. But what is very important is that many people stood up and said, we do not want the tax cap exceeded again. That's a good thing. But now you've done something much worse. You are taking from an unexpended balance, and if you follow the guidelines of the New York State Comptroller, that is to be used exactly as the person before me said. It's supposed to be used for one-time expenses, not to start to pay for salaries and benefits. That's a dangerous road to take. The other thing I noticed, and I started to go back into the other budgets, we have not been putting $80,000 away every year for the highway equipment budget. Every year is supposed to be there. We've never ended up with these extraordinary expenses. Whoever buys a truck 2 years ahead of time? And then I started to look into it, and we have made a commitment to stay with diesel when the rest of the state is being pushed for electric. And so what's going to happen? Diesel's going to get to be more and more and more expensive. We have to go with the 21st century. So then when you look at a budget, you think, oh, so what's missing in this budget? Once again, not just last year, but the year before, IT. We would have so many people on this public hearing if we had a Zoom. So I look back in the minutes. Why don't we have it? Why was it said we don't have it? We had one incident, but we don't have it because we do not have an IT specialist. Why are people thinking of even spending more money for a website? Because we do not have an IT specialist. Why did we have to get a new phone system when the old one was only implemented in 2022? Why? Because we do not have an IT person. So when I come from the nonprofit sector, I also come from private business sector. So I always had a hybrid career, 60, 70 hours a week. I am a worker bee. I should be over at the 100-acre park. At this point, I'm a native. But I know that when you look, the expression in the nonprofit sectors, follow the money. Follow the money. Who's getting the money in this town? And there is a lot of cleanup that can be done. So when you have a public hearing, you're coming to say, are you for or against the budget? I am against this budget. Councilperson Morelli has brought so much information to the table. And sometimes it just is not processed and then an outcome driven. Sure, we cannot take away health insurance at this late date, but there's a lot of other things you can do to make sure that we are not taking $971,000 something out of the unexpended balance. That's not acceptable. And there's a lot more you can do. And I think it was Councilman Brown who said, oh, are we getting revenue to offset the cost of highway? No, doesn't match. You can add it up. You can look to say, hey, we have 20 miles of town roads, 20 miles. That's it. So either we go back to the state, we go back to the county, and we start to make sure that they're giving us the money that we need. But we cannot invest in equipment 2 years ahead of time. Then I found it. We put in a request for equipment that we're going to pay for in 2026 budget. I don't even know if that's kosher in the world of the state. Usually we close the door on December 31st and we start it new on January 1st. But we made this investment in 2024, 2025 now. So it's messy. The more I got into it, it's messy, messy, messy. But the elected officials, the clerk doesn't make enough compared to everybody else. The librarian, all of those, they're not elected officials. They're not making enough. But you look at the highway superintendent, and certainly, Dan, you took a job, you've got a job, but you have looked at the data that I gave you. And I mean, you're way over the mark. You need to be rolled back. That's just the truth of it. We're a small town. We only have 34, what was it? I looked, it's not even 3450 anymore. We're losing population. And we need to pass that exemption. But when you do, you're going to find out that we have so many increases in the exemption. You can't put that burden on young families coming into town. We've got to do exactly what Kristen just said. We have to start to have more development. From 2018 to 2024, we only had 1.9% increase in taxable properties, a total of about 40 properties over from 2018 to 2025. You're putting the burden on people who live here just by raising their assessments. So our assessments went up 61% in the last assessment, but that was the third in 5 years, no matter what you want to put on the website, no matter what you want to put out there, that's the fact of it. And why? Because we rolled along with Henrietta. But what is Henrietta's tax base? Less than $1. But we did not have to do that assessment, and it's a burden, we're going to carry into 2026. But you have an obligation to take care of the employees that we have and an obligation to represent the interest and the concerns of citizens. And you have to start in your own and at your own door. We cannot afford a $70,000 supervisor. Either can Parma, Wheatland, Caledonia, Avon, Riga, we can't afford it. And we can't afford to have a building inspector being paid $50,000 for 20 hours a week. And only have, $13,000 expected by the end of the year in terms of permits. Treat the budget as if it was your home budget. But when you have people like me, volunteers, And you know that I can keep up a website. I can do any budgets. I've done budgets for United Way. I can do it. But do you look to your residents to give them to help you? No, you haven't. But in this budget, you better put back the volunteers that did the gardens, put back some volunteers that can do the work. And on January 1st, we start to figure out how do we make sure that benefits continue, but we become part of the consortium. How does Henrietta do it? They're part of a 10-town consortium, started 10 years ago. We're not part of that. So this town has to get with it, but they can't, absolutely. Kirsten, everything she said, we have got to, and everything everybody else said. Usually I'm the first, but I'm just the sweep. Listen to everything that's said, but I'm here to say this budget should be a no. And I know there's people who called me that said they would not be here. So this is my only opportunity when I am not confronted by someone who is so rude to tell me to sit down. And that should never happen in a town this small. This is an American town, and we should not think of it as some kind of a courtesy or a kindness. This is a responsibility, and don't make citizens feel like they're going to be intimidated or cajoled to sit down. That's so wrong. I'm so angry about this whole thing. This is a terrible, terrible budget, and you had all these last few months, and all you had to do was use some common sense. And Jean, thank you very much. You will be so missed on this board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine.
For one more thought, because my neighbor, Eric Beckman, I'll give you his name, he brought this up and the past speaker just triggered it for me, which is the IGA property, which is not the only property in the hamlet and around that town center. And I use that term loosely, that's available. And like the previous speaker, I'm going to say to you, I have some economic development skills and I'd be happy to help you. Try to reach out and try to get some other places in here. I know that's come in the past, but if we don't have somebody out there calling, looking, seeing what's available, you're not going to be able to find somebody to come in and say, I really want to be right here in Rush, unless of course they're a town resident. So I think you really do need to pick up your economic development. If you don't want help from the residents, that's fine. But then you need to get somebody who's willing to volunteer their time that you approve of. Because ultimately, you can get in a few more businesses, absolutely true. It won't cost the residents as much. And we're never gonna be Henrietta. They are the star in the whole county of how to keep your taxes low. And that's by letting every business that you can find in. But we should be able to do a little better. Thank you.
Thank you. Robin? Did Robin leave?
I thought I saw him leave right after, but he might have thought that was to speak at the public comment, not the public hearing.
Okay, that's everyone on the list. Close the public hearing.
Is there anybody else we could at
Oh.
least ask?
Sorry, I signed this with that.
David McGlashan, April Lane. I want to echo all the concerns. I won't repeat what the residents said, but you can put me as ditto, I guess. It was nice to have our librarian speak here today. I definitely agree with her. It's awful, I think, every year having to hear her fight for her budget as well. I think some of that does have to do with process. We're running out of money a little bit. I think you just don't see like a fair process when people are hired. That could be because like things aren't being posted properly to the community to be hired at. So instead we have somebody in mind, and apparently we had a salary and package in mind too for them before they got hired. I don't know if this budget, also my biggest concern is I don't know if this budget reflects, I know last meeting, Jean brought up that there is things that were discussed that weren't reflected in it. And I know legal counsel did say we're not supposed to discuss the budget in executive session, but Councilmember Chase did say, no, Jean, those are the things we discussed in executive session. So I don't know if you can answer if those things are reflected in this one. I think that should be mapped out too if it was discussed in executive session, because that is a violation of open meeting laws. And why are we trying to hide things, I guess, in our budget? I think Kirsten, another thing she said is she's not represented by a union. So there you go, like, she feels like she's not represented here in her town and that her voice isn't being heard on all her concerns. I know even technology is a thing she's had to fight for in the past. We're modernizing as a society. We definitely need to make sure our youth in our town has access to those things. And that shouldn't be, I think, a fight. Also hearing about using some funds to just offset the taxes for 1 year, close to $1 million. That's a little fishy, especially because we have a lot of projects that need to be improved. Like you guys have talked about the salt barn over and over again and about losing money in salt every year. But we had $1 million to offset taxes for a year, but we didn't have any money to fix that, which is making us lose money year over year. And also having a librarian with a drip on her desk year after year, and she doesn't have money to fix that. Again, I think that's only a small sliver of $1 million. But I would say, I'm gonna put it out there, I really think it's convenience because the residents spoke out against this budget so much that it's being tweaked just as a Band-Aid fix for a year. I don't see $1 million offset for next year's budget factored in to the budget. So yeah, it might work for this. I know that there is gonna be a supervisor election again next year, but I know the board won't be elected next year. I hope really that wasn't truly the driving factor for this last minute changes to the budget. But again, I really think you do need to consider that. Make sure your employees feel like they're being paid fairly and that they have a fair contract. You should really have a better, I think, spelled out step system in there that factors in the cost of living year over year. That's what teacher contracts have into it. It's not just a step system that's set in stone for 5 years. It also factors in the cost of living into that. But yeah, I think you've heard it there that they don't feel represented. The word union was thrown out there. So it feels like even the employees have an imbalance. So I think you should definitely listen to the public, listen to the employees, probably revisit this and also make sure things are marked out if they were discussed in executive session, and probably talk to legal counsel about that as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name's Ian McNabb. I live at 2167 Rushmondon Road. I just took a few minutes before coming to the meeting tonight, just to glance at some of the numbers for our paid positions. And if you look at the size of this town versus a lot of other towns in the county, some of these numbers I think are way off. Supervisor. So you're looking at a salary of $70,000. We have a population of roughly 3,500 people. Town of Wheatland, population 4,900. And the town supervisor apparently works for free in Wheatland because it's listed as 0 on their budget. I don't expect that, mind you, but town of Riga with 5,600 people. The supervisor position's part-time and the pay is listed at 34,000. I found the numbers. Town of Hamlin, 8,700 people, part-time supervisor, salary 26,000. So just that one salary alone, to me, is way off the mark. And that money could go toward offsetting a lot of other expenses. It's a small town. You've got a small tax base. And increases of $40,000, $50,000 in somebody's pay translates to a pretty significant tax increase for people. So you can say the same thing about the highway superintendent, but the highway superintendent is at least in the ballpark, sort of. Wheatland, their highway superintendent is listed at salary of $92,000. I couldn't find the one for Riga. Hamlin's listed at 83. Town of Mendon, right next door, with a population of 9,100. Their highway superintendent gets paid a little over 89,000. So Seems like that's a little off the mark as well. So I would encourage you to back to the drawing board, so to speak, and see if you can rework some of this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to say that I am in favor of a full-time supervisor position in this town. I've worked under, this is my 5th town supervisor I've worked under in the last 20 years here. And I'll tell you that each of those part-time supervisors were here full-time. They were all retirees, and I don't know this for 100% certain, but I believe they all had some sort of retirement pension or something that they were already receiving. And so this was a part-time in quotations job for them while they were receiving some kind of retirement benefit. And they were able to be here full-time hours because they essentially had part-time retirement plus a part-time salary. Those town supervisors were here on the weekends. They were here past their normal office hours. So to say that it's a part-time job is not exactly, from my experience, credible. They were here full-time. They just didn't get a full-time salary. The supervisor has been working full-time, and I will say he's here all the time. His door is always open. And just this week, he came in and fixed a plumbing problem in the library and therefore saved the town probably hundreds of dollars over calling a plumber. So you don't necessarily all see the behind the scenes things that I see as the library director. I fully support the supervisor. And yes, we are in a tight budget crunch time. I don't think that this is necessarily the time to cut back on the supervisor's duties. And I can also tell you, he was in the depths of the flood along with Councilman Chase back in June, trying to support the town every which way they could. They were knee deep, leg deep in the flood, helping so much. I really appreciate that. I think that there are ways maybe we could cut spending. And that is, of course, something that the town takes seriously. I will also say every town board member voted to make the supervisor job full-time. It'll be important in the future because if you want to have a modern town, you want to attract a town supervisor to run for election with good management experience. And to run a town well, you have to have a really large knowledge base. We want to attract people to run this town with integrity and thoughtfulness and have the skill set to do it well. And to do that, it should be a full-time job, in my opinion. It should be a paid full-time job with benefits. So that's my opinion and based on my observations over 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
One quick question. I know we've talked a lot about healthcare and insurance benefits. Something I just happened to notice, which I don't think has come up in the past. So we've talked about potentially changing health insurance plans, trying to keep costs, similar, but maybe benefiting the town, saving a little bit of money. I saw health savings plans that popped up in this preliminary budget as well. I just don't remember talking about it. So I was curious where that came to play a part. Just thinking, if we're tightening the belt a little bit, there's an opportunity, in some respects, alongside just new expenditures that are popping up for 2026. So as you guys are reviewing the preliminary budget, keeping an eye to those things that are just spontaneously showing up this year that maybe we didn't have in the past, and really taking a look to evaluate whether that's something that's needed, or if there are just other opportunities to cut back on expenditures like that. So just want to call that out because I don't think in all the medical health insurance discussions that we've really talked about those things cropping up as well. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, this is not about personalities or about what everybody does. I certainly have been here and I go all the way back to Bill Udicious, all of the supervisors. but this is about benchmarking our town against other towns. And every elected official takes an oath of office and they're full-time. It's about compensation, fair compensation. And there are under the reviews, I mean, again, you can go to Open View New York, and I did exactly what the gentleman just did, and I gave this paperwork to you on October 8th to review. And I even looked, because one of the comments was that, you know, they might be younger, they might be older. They're all the same age. Everybody, this is not a part-time job. It's a job where you are available 24/7 when you raise that hand and say you're going to be here as the town supervisor or an elected official. That's a job. You're taking an oath of office. So does it mean that you can't take an afternoon off or you don't have a deputy director? It's the configuration of small towns in New York State. There's 973 of them. And if you add the villages, 1,400 municipalities. And we are, even the average, even if I go to the average, you're way above it. The average across the entire New York, even Bronx only has $60,000 for their supervisor. It's all about proportionality. It's all about the ability of your tax base. And you can't get beyond your tax base. Our tax base has not grown more than 1.9% since 2018. And the first place you have to look is not in your services. You have to look in your administration. That's where you have to look. That's where you start. But you look at that budget from 2020 to 2025, and that administration has just gone berserk. And you have to get it back to being measured by other towns our size, not Mendon, not Pittsford. I was here when we hired the finance director. It was like I had to advocate for 25,000. Now it's 4 or whatever. It's just it's not proportionate to our town, and it can't continue without doing one or two things. Either you go back and you exceed the tax cap, or you go on this slippery slope and set up a budget that we will be in trouble within a short period of time. And then what happens if there's an emergency? What are you going to do? This is an ill-prepared budget. And I hear what people are saying. We always, you'll get caught up in personalities, but this is not about personalities. You've done a great job. I helped you get on the board. It's certainly something that you have to look at for our budget. Please.
You good? Anyone else? We'll close the public hearing. Close the public hearing.
Oh, yes.
Chase,
Aye.
Supervisor Wilbur,
Aye.
Councilperson Raleigh,
Aye.
So the town board want to make comments about where you want to make changes?
Yeah.
I have a lot of comments, so
Okay,
again,
okay,
and I don't want to necessarily dominate the conversation or raise every issue, so please, if you got things, please, speak up as well. I thank everybody for their comments. They were all spot on and, across the spectrum. And we got a lot of work to do with this budget. I agree. I agree. You know, to use $1 million out of our fund balance is not sustainable. I've been saying that.
Well, 330 of that is for the truck that we're buying, that we've been talking about for 2 years. Because to get a truck that the town could use, we needed to get a diesel truck before the electric truck became a Mazda. So we put the money aside for 2 years, so it's reflected in this year's budget. That's $330,000 out of the unexpended balance that we had set aside over the last 2 years. And that's, we needed new equipment, and that would serve the town better than an electric truck was, which would be more expensive and not work for us. That's 330 of the 569 that were taken out of the unexpended balance for the highway department.
Okay.
It looks like a lot of money, but we've been working on it for 2 years.
I know. But we're still not putting anything aside for all of the other capital items that we need to do in this town. This building, the highway department buildings, the salt barn. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, half a million for the salt barn. I don't know, that's been thrown out. I have no idea.
Probably.
Alone. We still have problems here with leaking. We've got to do some other infrastructure with diverting the water that just has a natural pour right in, just come right into the basement and fill it up. There's a lot of work that we need to do with our town resources, as well as, you know, investing in our people, and we have other resources we got to deal with. You know, you just got to always go back and look at that, you know, and we're trying, all of this is to, I think you got to either cut a lot of items in this budget or really think about raising the taxes. No one wants to do that. It has a bad, you know, the optics are terrible, just terrible.
Yes.
But then again, if everything everybody says is true, what are we gonna do about that?
I think
You
for
gotta
some of
make
those-
hard decisions here.
I think for some of these larger capital projects that we've been looking at, I know in the past, when we're staring down some big capital projects, the town has looked into bonding. And that might be a reasonable way to extend out some of those larger expenditures that we'd be looking into on these capital projects.
So that would be a plan to look into next year?
I think that that's a serious discussion that the board would have to take care of some of these capital projects, and really looking into what they might cost and coming up with a plan to kind of address those things. Maybe through an avenue like that. I just talking to other people, and in the past that was an approach that the town has taken to handle some of this stuff. So I think that might be a viable option, and then we would be able to budget for that. We would know exactly what that's going to cost every year to pay off that bond, and it would make it a lot easier to budget every year for stuff like that.
Rather than just throw a little bit here and there at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that it stops the piecemeal, it seems that's all we do is piecemeal. From what I've seen coming on 2 years ago and throughout, you know, I mean, we've done it. I voted for it. We piecemeal stuff together, trying to make everything work, and it doesn't work.
Well, we know about it, like Kirsten said with the library thing, we've been on the board trying to, putting money towards that to try and resolve that issue, and we really just.
We spent $260,000 on that, and it didn't work.
Yeah. So it's something that is a serious issue that needs to be addressed, and to do it right, I think it's gonna take a good chunk of money. And
Agreed. I don't think we need to completely get away from putting money away to
No.
fix.
No,
We're gonna have things that pop up.
Yes.
That we're gonna absolutely have to address, but you're right. Trying to put away a little bit here and there to build that capital reserve fund that we talked about. I think it does nickel and dime it to a point.
Yeah. I think it's important to have that capital reserve.
Yeah.
But to try and build that right now to take care of the big issues that are I think it would be,
The bigger issues would be one big conversation.
yeah.
Highway garage, salt barn,
You know,
grant.
I'm not gonna be on the board next year. I hope I'm gonna still be as vocal and in your faces.
Expect anything less.
Good, thank you. But we have people looking at us who are concerned.
Mhm. I'm
Um,
concerned.
and so whoever is on this town board needs to make a commitment to have some long-range planning to take care of this stuff because we've been kicking it down the road for too long.
Yep.
Having said that, there are things which we did not address to get out this preliminary budget to stay on track. That we know that we have to reduce, and I can just go right down. And I'd like to get a commitment because we do have to shave.
Yep.
This budget. We there's just, we have to shave some things off this budget. If we're not gonna raise revenues, you gotta cut costs, and that's how it works. Because with using so much of the fund balance, I don't know, we're budgeting, 75,000 in interest income, which like, I hope we get it, with interest rates going down and our fund balance going down. I don't know, math doesn't work. But it's in there. That's just on the revenue side, and, I'd like to focus more on the expenses, which we can talk about. We talked about taking back some more of the accounting functions back in-house that we're paying an outside accountant for. And that was never the intent to be long-term
Yep.
to do that. So we had asked our budget director, finance director to come up with something, and out of the 23,000 that we're paying the outside accountant, I think she said somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000 cost can, come off that budget. I wish it were more, because we never paid for all of that stuff before, but I wish it were more. What is it, $4,800?
Yes.
So what can we knock off this? Let's just go down the line here and cut it and put it in our budget.
Yep.
So that we're not spending this money where we shouldn't be.
So the accounting firm is doing less, almost $5,000 less. But now Janice is gonna have to pick that up. And I was thinking 30, we'd have to pay her. We have to pay her something to do the work that the accounting firm was doing.
I don't think so. No, that's not. This is what we don't need to throw more money or more time into internal. That's just not right. Stuff that was done should continue to be done. It's part of the job. It's part of the current job that exists now.
Well, it hasn't been to this point. And she's gonna be doing more work, so it seems that she
She's gonna
should
be
done-
doing work she should have been doing.
But she's
You
gonna
don't
be doing more
agree,
work.
then tell the people here that you don't agree, because I don't agree.
Dan, finish what you were saying about, so what was your thought then?
I think we should pay her something for doing more than she's been doing in the past.
Well, then leave it with the outside accountants. At least we can save on payroll taxes.
They don't want to do that anymore. So they're turning it over to us. So if it was costing the accounting firm $4,800 to do it, how much do we compensate Janice for doing it? Because it's additional work.
How many more hours a week does it have?
about, well,
Um. I guess. Well, you can't fire me at this point, and people can hate me or not. Some will hate me, some may like me. But the fact that you're giving someone more responsibility and they say it's gonna take more time doesn't mean that it would take more time for somebody else to do it. There are potential inefficiencies in that office. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm being brutal here. You know, we have executive session, but we can't talk about this anymore. We're here, we got to talk about the numbers. It translates to numbers. That's my opinion. You don't want to go along with that? Say so. Tell the residents why.
How many hours would it add? 2 hours per week, you said?
I figured. Just figuring kind of on a low end, $20 an hour.
Good.
Would put you around $2,000.
20 is probably low.
Right, but I said,
And the accounting firm does not want to continue doing what we're doing now.
No. What about half of the figure? It was 48.24 for the year.
So you're adding $2,000 to the director of finance?
Yes. 2,400.
2412. Right?
Uh,
You said was, what'd you say? I thought you said 4824 was the,
4861
oh,
is
sorry.
is what we're going to be paying less to the accounting firm. So that if we paid her 24 for doing it, we'd be saving $2,400.
Yeah.
Cents or
Well, she doesn't get any benefits. She's part-time.
So I mean, I guess to that point, like, people said it today, time is money or time's worth something. So, I mean, I do feel that if she's gonna put in more time, needs to be compensated for that. It's still in the savings. And that's what we're gonna end up doing. Is picking away at every little bit we can.
so we gonna go with 24.
Yeah,
24 more for her salary and 48,000 less for the accounting firm.
4,800.
4,800.
we're going, yeah, we're taking 4,800 off the accounting. And then putting 2430 and a half back in. That right?
Yep.
Ready for the next one?
Yep.
Legal fees. You have it in there for $100,000.
There's 45 through the first half of the year, so I think we can cut that back to 90. That's a $10,000 savings.
I'm saying 70. I'm looking at the detail of the legal billing and extrapolated it out to the end of the year. And I come up with 68,000 and change. So I'm saying make it 70. If we're going to keep it flat, but not to add another 30 grand to legal.
We were at 100, we
Yeah.
adopted 100,000 last year. So we
But-
actually kept it flat from last year.
No,
across.
no, because what I mean, the numbers in here have no correlation to the facts. Because you're not doing a net, you're not offsetting by the fees that were charged back to applicants and so on. There's no net, there's no contra account here to show the money that we've collected back. So we just put the gross that we paid out. And we've got to have our boards write their own resolutions. It was always done. My husband was on the planning board for 25 years. They wrote every single resolution. You never had to hire an attorney to do that. They wrote the resolutions.
In it, so
I'm sorry.
We have been working on streamlining the process and.
PRC,
Yeah, and we could probably cut that back. The billing's been better. It's,
What would be like a number, 20,000?
what if we cut it back to 80?
That's what I was thinking.
Because
I actually was thinking 85, to be honest with you, but
What are you gonna spend it on? What do we gotta pay legal fees for?
what happens if something with the solar or something with, I mean,
Well, we have,
I know you talked about the intervenor funds before and.
yes,
Yep.
exactly.
I agreed.
And we've got like $45,000 that we got back because we negotiated that as part of our host community agreement
Yep.
with Horseshoe Solar. So somewhere in that fund balance is 45 grand that we should be using to defend the town against, when we're gonna talk about that tonight, hopefully too. Go ahead.
So this year in 25, we had budgeted for 100. You're keeping it flat at another 100. We bring it down to 80.
I'm good with that.
yes,
80.
What are you gonna cut it, 50?
we're gonna take it down to 80. So we're cutting at 20,000.
Right.
Moving on down to account 1620.445 and 48, and talk about building maintenance, parking lot, and
Yeah.
we talked about, postponing redoing the parking lot over here
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about the windows too?
and the windows
Wait, the windows.
or a
keeping
I
that
don't
cold
know.
out For now,
That's part of the bigger conversation that we need to have.
right, make
Repairs
a
it.
package
Yeah.
to fix it.
So what do
Band-Aids.
we want to take out?
I think we'll take out the parking lot, the 35,000 for now. That,
I mean, overall, the parking lot's in good shape other than the down at the end.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
It's not,
And again, the flooding issues that happened in the spring. I don't think just milling the parking lot and paving it is a good use of money because we need to figure out some way to get the catch basin out of the way of the handicap entrance.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I just think we're throwing money away at that point.
Same with the windows, right? There's 30,000 in windows. Do we need to do them as part of the budget or can we?
not right now. But I think we should, the contingency fund, it's at 68,000, it's been at 68,000. I think we should raise that to 100 just in case something does come up. So,
Not that we want to talk about it.
insurance? Cause I know the deductible for this year was $125,000, right?
Or, no,
Like the flooding, the deductible was 25,000.
yeah, that was.
We're removing the 30 from windows,
Yep,
leaving 35 for building maintenance
yes,
and what about building highway building repairs and gutters? The 17.5. Remove it? Or do we want to keep it? I mean, it kind of falls in the same question of the windows here.
Right.
yeah.
What are we doing with the building highway?
That's what we're talking about. Is that something that we want to,
Building repairs,
is that something we want to keep or is that something that we
I
want
would
to?
think we could keep that because that's minor. I say minor. Salt shed, that's huge.
yeah,
But this here is just some gutter repairs and some general building upkeep to the maintenance shop.
I think 17's high, 17.5 is higher, can we cut that some?
We cut it down, yeah. I mean,
What do you think?
I
Take it
agree.
down.
I think you need to take care of the gutters over there. That's going to
right,
eliminate a lot of future costs.
right. That's,
What, you want to save 10,000 in it and lower it by 7,500?
Yeah.
For like emergency spots, things that pop up.
No, that's for,
No,
for the gutter.
The
the
gutters,
gutters,
I had said.
7,500.
We're gonna take 75 out, we're only 10,000 in there for that. Okay.
okay.
So gutters is down to 10.
Yep.
Parking lot out.
Yep.
Camera upgrade out.
Yep.
And leaving the 35 for just general building maintenance.
Yes.
And you said on the contingency fund, you wanted to,
I think we should bump that up to 100, because things pop up. Well, I,
Cause we still have, I mean, I know we took out windows, but we still have windows here that won't even shut. Right. So if we need to address a couple of them that are really bad.
Yeah, you gotta be able to close the windows in the winter.
But at least that contingency is a little more flexible.
yeah,
so I'll add 32 into that to bring it up to
Yes.
100 then.
yeah.
You're gonna look at street lighting account 5182.4.
Yeah, that's notes from National Grid.
They don't seem as bright.
Really?
It's like
LED
one-
streetlights are more energy efficient, consuming 1/3 to 1/2 the kilowatt hours. So we had 25,000 in there, but that's the electricity itself. There's also a charge for delivery. I was thinking about cutting that.
Dan, can we go back for a second to? What was the deal with the animal control? Why are we looking at $10,000 and we're only at 42 now?
What's the account number on that?
3410, 400, no, 3510, 100.
Okay,
We only spent 5,000 so far and we got a projected budget of 10,000. Help me out here.
Hagen Markets is changing the way that dog catchers have to work. And so we're partnered with Henrietta
Right.
for a dog catcher facility. Costs us 17 grand. We got a couple stalls over there. We got a couple dogs. The only problem is on the weekend, we gotta have somebody available to go over there and tend the dog.
So we still may not use it though.
We still may not use it, but
Okay.
So if we put a dog in there, he has to go there and babysit the dog for the
he
weekend.
has to walk the dog and feed the
Dog
dog.
sit the
and-
dog.
Yeah. For Hagen Markets, they I don't know what happened, but
They changed everything around, and that's why a lot of the vet
yeah, that,
offices decided, because it used to go, you could take your dog and take it, there were certain vet offices that would take
You
stray
just-
dogs,
yeah.
and it was no charge to the towns, they would take the dogs, and then,
they would get it from the owners and
yeah, but now they did away with that, and that's why we had to spend that 17,000 to go in with Henrietta, otherwise we would have to build our own facility, and it has to be built to ag and markets specs and their conditions, so.
we have to supply personnel to take care of our dogs.
Gotcha.
So it's, he has to do more.
And
Okay,
it's not just, I think it's us, Wheatland, Mendon, right?
Yeah, it seems like there's another.
Child.
No, that might be it.
Yeah, I think it was us four all got together on that.
So you're saying we have to leave that?
Yes.
Oh. But for the electric, as far as like the street lighting and stuff like that,
Instead of, yeah,
What budget code was that?
I'm sorry, 5182.4.
instead of 25,000, I thought 3/4 of that, which would be 18,750.
what are we,
Because we changed the streetlights to,
Does that include our the connections for the Christmas lights?
they're on the poles, so they.
We paid
But
for
we
that.
have to pay for the drop.
Yeah.
We did already.
They're on there, so we're all set to go.
But it's not a one-time
what the hell?
fee, right? It's a yearly.
It's waste.
No, they're on there.
Yeah.
We'll pay electricity on them.
Okay.
And I just got paperwork.
assume that that's a
We have to
cost.
prove insurance before we
Getting rid of
put
oil?
Christmas lights up this year.
That's not hazardous.
That's a new thing, but it's just, we have to fill out paperwork.
Okay.
But
I'm
they
not sure.
set that. That I gotta do.
Better make sure they go up.
Yes.
Dan, what's, under 5132,400? We got hazardous waste for $4,000. None needs spent year to date. We got it again for next year. What are we generating hazardous waste with?
Where's it, 51?
5132.4.
Just above the. street lighting.
I would probably pumping out their bulk oil tanks, used oil.
Used oil is not hazardous. You actually get places to come pay you for it.
It's under garage. I would have to ask DJ.
I just don't know what we would generate that'll be hazardous on the, over that truck garage.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I would knock that down. I mean, a couple thousand or something anyway, but
Yeah.
I don't see us.
Unless there's fees they have to pay that are hazardous waste fees,
Well, it hasn't been listed in the past and.
Because this was the first time it's been broke out in detail like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to ask DJ.
yeah.
Assume that somewhat of your core fees, battery fees, stuff like that. Because a lot of those go underneath the garage.
Yeah. I know, like, if you take equipment in to get repaired, or if you have a company come in and do repairs on your facility, on their invoice, they have a hazardous waste
Yeah,
fee
it's
on that
it's
invoice.
a
So I'm wondering if
billable
that's.
BS.
Right, but I'm wondering, I mean, if they have to have somebody come and look at something, or if there's. Like, DJ would be the one to answer that, I guess. We could check with them on that, and
Yeah, I don't believe it's anything directly. I would assume it's a sub on something else.
right. But we can figure it out. What did you say on street lighting? You were taking that down to 18?
18,750.
Streetlights going down to 18?
Yeah, 18,750. 18,750 instead of 25,000.
Under the historian, she's got 10,000 in there. This is, AA 7510 400. $10,000 to repair the, headstones up on top of West Rush Road.
Yeah,
If we not do that this year.
I know she said something that it was gonna go up, but
At the
if
10
you think we can eliminate that,
There, well,
We were,
75, 10, 400.
well, because it was, I guess we'd have to pick.
she, well, I've been up there, and I don't even think all the headstones have been discovered yet. There's pieces.
On
here-
West Rush Road,
There's pieces here and there.
by my house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've walked that a couple times. There's a lot up there.
There's a lot, and some are, I think, are still buried, and I don't know.
okay,
So all right, just so we're not completely ignoring the historian's office or anything, we are budgeting $16,000 for signage, new signage. So at
That-
least,
that-
so at least we're taking a step in the direction to beautify some of the stuff.
That's the 8 little cemeteries around town and 2 signs for the Veterans Memorial Park.
Right, so
One
the
over
point
north and one
the
south.
point I'm
Yeah,
making
yeah,
is even
yeah.
if we're taking away the 10,000 right now for this year,
yeah.
until we get past our budget constraints.
Yeah.
We still are doing some sort of improvement
Yeah.
to the old cemeteries that a lot of people don't even know are around.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Which one's that one now?
75, 10, 400.
Yep.
If you go down to repair headstones, there's 10,000.
Right.
Yep.
I was just thinking of that. So what are you taking it to?
Zero.
Anything else before we get to insurance, health insurance? And we
Then,
can, we can come back to health insurance across the board, but,
I want to talk about
Hey, Tim,
I want to talk about our salaries.
okay,
I personally, I think they should be cut in half.
Fine with me.
That money goes towards someone who's forward facing, Dan, clerk, Kristen.
Fine with me.
I'm sorry.
So it's fine with me.
That shaves $16,000.
Hey, whatever. You put it all in, I don't care.
Okay.
There's not enough, nothing pays enough for this job. Let me tell you something.
It's a Lutheran quote of the day.
But he loves it.
But again, the reason we could have gone zero, but again, time has value. And I just, at least taking some sort of reduction on our end helps people who are forward facing. I don't even know what budget code it is, but
Oh, yeah.
Dan, what's our this flood and erosion
Where is it?
contractual?
Hmm?
This here, I understand here. You got 15-1.
Can you
That,
find
that
it?
for
Where are you?
whatever.
8745-100. Is that for an enforcement officer?
800.
Make sure I'm reading it right, that's all.
Did you find it
Page 12.
on the,
So it's,
the account number?
There.
Just to make sure I make
Is that for?
not yet.
personal services.
one?
That's out of DA fund. That's an AA fund, so that's out of flood and erosion control.
Have the number.
Oh, that's. mm,
Is
That's
that-
John's position with for the floodplain management.
Floodplain management. Wait a minute.
which was a
No,
new
that-
position.
No, that's.
We added in, that was already added in the year before.
Oh, all right, I apologize.
Um,
I just, I saw this
but
down
that
there.
did go up
Right.
overall by 5% and 8%, those two components.
Mhm.
Derek, have you found where we're at?
No, not yet.
I know, I wanted to,
So I don't miss it, lose it.
right,
So.
I went back there. I didn't see.
Times 10, 100. So actually, my question for clarification, are we doing half of what your salaries are currently? Or half of what they were gonna be?
Half of what they are currently. Because what was proposed wasn't official yet, so we go. Is there? We're all in agreement with that?
We forego our raise and
Cutting in half to what?
keep it where it's at, cut it in half.
Yes.
I'm sorry, where were we then? We were down. Luther, you were asking about code enforcement and floodplains and
He didn't know what that. He wasn't sure what that position. Right?
Right.
What page you on now?
We were,
Well,
yeah.
if you could refer to the account number, that would be helpful too.
8745.400.
Got it.
Well, actually, I should. The one above that, Gene,
Yeah.
8745.0.100.
Okay.
What was the question?
Luther wasn't sure what that was. He wasn't,
Floodplain management.
yeah.
Is there any other changes while I was flipping through papers?
Not yet. That I know.
The, the insurance.
Health insurance?
Yeah, I think we're down to the 9,000 series now. Right?
9,000.
Yeah.
AA, the first one in there is the state retirement at 9010.8.
I guess to that point, we voted on the new updated handbook, right?
June, I believe,
And that-
early summer.
And that does affect new incoming employees that have family plan, which will be paying higher percentages.
Yeah, if. I believe,
new employees is 85%.
even for a single,
No, it's 85% for a family, single is 90% still.
and so,
And a couple would be 88%.
Okay.
That's what's in the handbook.
So. I'm not suggesting we change the percentages in the handbook, but the handbook also says. That the town board can change plans.
Mhm.
So we can do that. Just wanted to differentiate that.
I agree with what Kristen said, and I also feel strongly that employees who've been here for a long time deserve, the respect that is given.
It's
In,
not,
in regards to the handbook, if we want to talk about fair and equitable, why would somebody who's single only be contributing 10% when someone with a family is going to be contributing 15? If we change all new incoming employees to 85% flat, obviously we're revising the handbook already, but then it's fair and equitable to all new employees that are coming in. And that way there's no concern about like, why is he getting a break and I'm not?
so
I
you
think-
you really gotta go beyond that, though. And I doubt there's anybody in this whole town, or very few people, who are not looking at changes in their health plans. Is everybody here looking at changes in the health plans? I am. I'm paying more for less. And I think everybody has that same choice this year.
I sent Dan, we have Excels at work through a different insurance company, unchanged. Zero change.
But the cover.
We can upgrade. I sent it to him. Now, what I don't know, we have the premium package and ours are listed gold and platinum and all that. So I got no idea how they compare other than what I sent to Dan. I took a snapshot picture and sent it over to him. And I suggested that maybe we want to look at different insurance companies. But maybe we're getting, it's like buying car insurance. You don't look around once in a while. Your own broker will get you. And maybe I kind of got that feeling that's what's going on here.
And people have said it earlier, look into other sorts of consortiums.
You get accustomed to them, you get used to them, they just keep jacking it.
Agreed.
I say, we got over 150 people working at our company and unchanged. So I kind of question the fact that, not that I haven't heard it going up, but to be honest with you, this is where I've heard it, is at the town.
So I agree. I don't know why we don't look at that all the time. Could we get a better rate if we're part of a bigger consortium? Yeah, I think so.
I'm just saying, maybe it's something to look around though, look at different companies. At least so we know that was okay, hey, you're legit. Or maybe you can save a lot.
I think this is a conversation that needed to start happening 8 months ago.
Yeah, no
Well, I'm
doubt.
not saying that, I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
But we do have an overall, across the board, over 20% increase in cost. And this town offers a very, very, very generous health insurance plan that other towns do not. And private companies do not. I made a lot of phone calls between our last meeting and this one, emails, phone calls.
But comparatively, our employees are underpaid.
We don't know that for sure. We're paying a huge amount of money for health insurance by offering to pay 90% of a platinum plan. That's crazy. Now, if people want to keep that plan, maybe they should contribute more, but maybe our base plan, one of the things that the consultant, threw out some what ifs. I don't know if anybody studied all that stuff that they gave us. I spent a lot of time.
I was looking.
And I don't have all the answers, but with the information that was given us, the town could pay the same amount to people. Add the gold 17 and say, this is what the town is going to offer. I mean, it's still a good plan for people. And if people want to stay in that platinum plan, well, they have to contribute 25% instead of 10%. You can keep that, but it's gonna cost you more. Or the town will pay 90% of the gold 17. That is the new base plan that the town can afford. That will keep our costs relatively stable. It's not even reducing anything. This is not even like maybe the best thing that we can do, but it sure the heck is, keeps us at a more level cost year over year. It's not reducing anything. It's just keeping it flat.
But those are changes that we'd have to make in the handbook.
No,
To-
the handbook says we can do this. I'm not changing the percentage. The town will pay 90% of this plan.
The point, no,
What if-
what I'm saying is, if we want to change, all right, so we could keep the platinum, but you've now got to contribute. Call it 20%. Or you have the gold 17 and we'll cover 90. Those are the changes we'd have to make as far as options in here.
No, you don't.
But Gene,
That's not what the handbook says. I'm not changing the percentage. The town has the ability to change the plan anytime we want. We can change it from a platinum to a gold 17, and I'm saying keep the percentages the same. That's the only thing that is in the handbook is the current percentages that the town is gonna pay.
So if there was a job opening and someone was like, hey, do you mind if I look at your handbook to see what kind of benefits I would get?
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
get
put
the
in there that
gold.
we can remove health insurance at any
it
time.
already says that. It already says it. It already says it. It always has. It always has.
Gene, can I ask you a question? So
Any benefit offered by the town to employees or elected officials is subject to change or discontinuance by resolution of the town board.
But it also mentions the 85% for new
I'm not
employees.
saying where, yeah, it's right in there. Tells you what the percentages are. And I'm not saying change the percentage. I'm saying change the plan to make it more affordable, but it's still a great plan. Then we'll still pay 90% if you want that plan. But if you want a richer plan, well, you're gonna have to kick in a little more. But our base plan, we can keep our costs relatively stable by just changing the plan and keeping the percentage contribution by the town the same.
But
So
it's
we're
gonna
gonna
increase the
basically
cost
stop
of the
for the gold.
employees and
May
And
not,
so-
I don't know what the employees use. Do you know how many times people have to go and pay for emergency rooms or ambulances or co-pays or specialists? I don't know.
that's what,
It may not make one bit of a difference to anybody. If they're healthy and don't go to the doctor, it won't change them at all. In fact,
Healthy
it will
today,
change them. You know
sick
what?
tomorrow.
It will, their take-home pay will increase, which will help offset, the extra $10 in the copay. Because we're talking about a a reduced cost plan, the amount, their 10% is of a smaller number, so their take-home pay goes up, which may very well offset any increase in copay.
I see what you're saying,
Okay,
but I just think right now we should have been having this conversation.
months ago.
my
July.
thought,
but it's not too late. Our consultants say we could do this. I'm not an insurance broker, but our consultants, we asked, can we do this? Yes, no problem. We've got plenty of time to do this. This kind of stuff is what everybody everywhere is looking at and thinking about it. Employers are thinking about it. They're rolling this stuff out. Open enrollment just started 2 days ago, or whatever.
November 1st.
So we are certainly able to do this. and keep the costs, we're not even cutting costs. I'm saying we're keeping the cost flat on the health insurance that the town covers for 11 employees. 11 employees. Bear with me. Our budget is just short of $400,000. That's what's in the budget currently for 11 people. And I don't know what people use. There, if we reduce the plan, keep it at 90%, reduce the plan that the town is going to offer, people may wind up with more money. I don't know how many times they go to a doctor, but their take-home pay is going to go up. It will go up. Because the plan costs less.
Well, if you offer the gold plan, what you're saying,
Yep.
you offer the gold plan, if they want the platinum, then they pay the difference from what we pay to the platinum. That's a choice. You want it, you may say, hey, we're healthy, we're good to go. And then family may want to say, we got kids, we want the platinum plan. They pay the extra difference. I don't know.
I mean, people have to figure out how many times on average, look at what you paid. I mean, I've done this in the past, added up all my medical bills, all my medical copays, and then pick the plan that fit. Can I go with a cheaper plan because I only go on average to the doctor so many times? You have young children, it's different from me. I don't have any kids at home anymore. But so you have to look at that. Everybody has to look at that kind of stuff and make a decision. And they gave us some illustrations and, said if we, for example, if we offer the Gold 17 plan,
Yep.
and it gave us the town of Rush cost per, employee, employee one, employee children, employee family. And then if you also said, if you don't like that, you have the option of going to that Platinum 6, but you got to contribute 25%. That keeps the town's cost per employee exactly the same between the two plans. So it's equitable. Right now, I mean, what the town is paying for people, it's number one, it's not sustainable. And this is no bearing on, the value of the employees. We got to think of, some other way, but, keep people happy. But this is richer than what other towns are offering. So you tell me people are going to leave. Where are they going to go? And that's not why I want to cut costs, because I want to just, say you've got nowhere to go. That, don't get me wrong, but jobs are tight right now. They really are. People can't get jobs. They can't get them. They can't find them. If you're a skilled person and you got replaced by AI, you cannot find a job. So there are people all over the place looking for jobs right now.
But we're talking a lot about highway guys that kind of got to live near here. Our pool's kind of small.
So
If we do have to replace somebody, it's got to be somebody around here. And if we do have to replace somebody because they left because their
But how do you
insurance
know
changed,
how do you know they're gonna leave? I'm saying you offer the Gold 17, a single guy, his take-home pay is gonna go up. Up. His take-home pay will go up.
what about some of our older employees that have medicines and more frequent visits, and it's going to end up in basically a pay cut for them?
That I don't know. I don't know.
That seems reasonable, that that's what would happen.
I have no idea what people use. But the town is budgeting
But if we
10% of its total appropriations is for health insurance alone, not salaries. Don't forget, we also contribute, all the FICA taxes, we pay that, we pay into the state retirement system. If you're working for a private employer, most of private employers today, You don't have a pension. You gotta contribute to if, hopefully they offer a 401k that you pay into, your money goes into.
And probably the pay is higher.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not anymore. I'm telling you, the job market is tight. Right now. You don't like to do it, but this is what you get. We gotta look at this. This is unsustainable, people. Raise taxes, and you explain to the townspeople, well, everybody wants a Cadillac health insurance plan. And you guys have to pay for it. I know you're pissed off at me, but I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
Not manager.
Thank you.
But we've talked about forever about as people retire, offering less health insurance. And I kind of think we're getting towards the point where we're gonna be having a bunch of retirees.
Well, you know, you have a couple, how many on this plan? 2 that you're covering? The town covers 2 retirees?
Mhm.
Oh,
currently,
6 retirees we're paying for?
yeah, but the plan that you're talking about is, 2%.
So are we making or have adjustments been made for those retirees who are now on Medicare? They're supposed to let you know, according to the handbook.
Yeah, so they're in the Finger Lakes Consortium that is, Medicare supplement plan.
And that's,
Because in the printout that you gave, I mean, I don't know, where is that covered in this budget? Or some of the other printouts as retirees being identified. And I want to make sure that, we're not covering them in a platinum plan when they should be getting Medicare coverage.
So all of them do have Medicaid coverage or
Medicare.
And then this is just the supplement to it. And it's the plan that we went through the consortium to get. So that was voted on in February. So
Yeah. When the plan was going up 75%. When we got the consortium.
does the consortium offer anything for current employees
So we were told we do not qualify.
because of our size?
Have we looked into joining what other towns are doing? Like there's consortiums of 10, 12 towns in Monroe County have banded together.
Correct, we're not the right size. We don't have enough people. So the one that we had to go to for the seniors for the Finger Lakes, it actually had to be a whole Western New York. And it ended up, our agent told us that it was actually approved on the federal level. The consortiums that are like what Henrietta's part of, stuff like that, we were told we do not qualify.
So we're not going to get a better rate, is what you're saying, than what we got here? That's unfortunate.
Is there other brokers we can?
We've never looked at another broker. I mean, that is a question we could start to, we can look at that.
I mean, a majority of the employees that are covered by the health insurance are highway employees, correct?
Yeah.
Have we figured out what their, like the work that we talked about the last time, the work that's done for highway or state and county? As far as covering their salaries, offsetting benefits?
DJ gave me some figures and I figured it out. Employees with family plans, we lose a couple bucks an hour. This is based on an average. They do about 500 hours worth of work for state and county between the highway repair and plowing. So we lose a few bucks with family plan. and then we make $8 or $9. It comes out to we bring in an extra $88,000 a year based on $500 worth of work for state and county.
For the highway workers.
Yeah, and that's above and beyond benefits and pay. And doesn't count equipment. I didn't have all the numbers to figure that out. But they do bring in almost $90,000 above and beyond.
So majority of this increase is covered by state and county work.
Yes, as long as they get 500.
Because it's not figuring in anybody in this office or the library that is taking the benefit.
Mhm.
How much of it would you say was covered by the county and state? I want like 75% of it, or? I know it's a shot in the dark, but
They cover for the time that town employees work for county and state. They cover in pay and benefits, plus we make $88,000.
for the whole year?
Yeah. It's
that-
based on 500 hours between road repair and plowing.
So basically the state and the county pay for the medical, 100% medical then. We're just a carrier of that, basically.
They bring in almost $90,000 towards the
When you
medical
say
benefits.
Benefits, they're what the town is paying, is it? I have not seen any of these.
Well,
I saw you
Ed and
sent
that
out
then-
something, but
that's not even. what- Ah.
I mean, I haven't audited any of that, but. I mean, by, picking up what the town is paying for people. You know. 50 grand for one person,
Get what you're saying.
49,000, 34,000. Some people, I don't know what kind of plan they have, so whether it's a single individual, it's a lot less. But it's all over the board. Is that equitable? Is that equitable?
I see what you're saying, Gene, but I guess the part that I'm struggling with is when their salaries and their benefits are covered. And some by the
I
work
don't-
that they're doing.
I'd like to see what the calculation is. Is it picking up the whole benefit that the town is paying? What are they including in that number?
Well, they said they're paying the whole thing, plus we're making 80,000 on top of it.
Well, on
I
the,
want to know the calculation.
he said on the family plan. It doesn't cover everything.
You lose about
People on the-
$2.
Yeah, for people on the family plan.
Hmm.
But for
The other
people that
plan-
are not on a family, so just a couple, two people in a single person plans, then the town is generating revenue from the county, doing work on the county and state roads.
So I get that we're a small town, but because we're a small town, we're also a small. The highway garage is also a small workforce. I mean, constantly they're doing county work. I saw them working on Middle Road today.
Yeah.
Putting it, and that's an additional that DJ wasn't expecting to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every time the roadside mower touches a county road, same thing.
State. and-
Potholes, it's just,
State to states. I think it's something that needs to be looked into, and I think it needs to be done well in advance to when we're going over the budgets.
I agree
And,
with that.
I mean, cuts that we've made already throughout the course of today, we've already covered the increase from what we budgeted for this year.
Like Kirsten said. Those guys, they don't have our employees don't have a union rep.
Right.
Backing them up. And fighting for them. For coverage or anything like that. And I think for us as town board, that's kind of our job too, is to. Work for the town employees as well as the residents. So I think to make a decision like this without even
The salary,
consulting some of our.
the portion of our salaries that we just forego covered the increase for this year. Which is $16,000. And that's what it's going up right now. What we're budgeting.
16,000? That's one area. It's
No.
gone up. I'm sorry. Over 60,000.
Well, we've been talking about health insurance the entire time, so
Yes, no, I know.
forgive me for looking at one line item.
No, I know. Yeah, but of course, you have to look at other funds. In total. In total. In total, the town is
Less than
paying,
30,000 more.
in total, the town is currently paying. I understand about 283,000. Just looking at the numbers. $111,000. In the budget. Over what we're currently paying. So. It's not chump change in a town this size. That kind of money. And we were given information as a way to cut it that maybe would still be perfectly acceptable to most people and actually have them bring home more money.
Oh. The highway department brought in revenue this year of 1.4 million. 1,444,000. Next year, they're projected for 1,800,000. So I guess I'm questioning is they're bringing that type of money in there and we're looking at 400,000, which we get back, basically.
That we get money back on 500, like a quarter of the year. $500 worth of work.
On page 13, Gene.
Yeah, I just pulled it up here.
If these numbers are correct, I'd say let it ride, but I think we need to
What are you
monitor
looking
it.
at? What are you looking at, Luther?
Okay, so highway fund townwide, and these are revenues, which is what we're bringing in. So for 2025 projected, we still have snow plowing and so forth, but, and I know it's a projected number, but it's 1.4 million.
That includes.
Year to date, we made 945,000. Year to date. And we still got,
As of 6:30.
Where are
Time to
you
go.
looking? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the highway.
Revenue.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
At the very bottom of that block, Gene, where it says total revenues,
Yeah,
and then go to 2025 year-end projected.
yeah,
That's what Luther's looking at.
but that also includes
That includes
the amount
taxes.
that's transferred from the fund balance. You gotta exclude that. Because this year it's showing 569,000 of fund balance for, for the appropriations.
Right, but
And-
they've only used 221,000 so far.
No, we budgeted 268,000 for the year. And now we're budgeting 569,000 to come out of the appropriated fund balance.
And 337 of that was the truck, correct?
Right, that was it, because we pushed that
I'm
truck
just looking
purchase
at
up.
the numbers.
Year to date, it's
They're saying our
170.
revenue for the highway department is flat. 1.1,246,000 last 20 current year versus projected of 1,245,000. So it's like $1,000 less actually than in 2025.
Okay. Oh, we're still bringing in $1 million, correct?
And we're spending it all and then some. I'm just saying, I'm just like giving you the numbers. They're not bringing in more
Gene,
money. They're bringing in.
I just had
It's
I had a
flat.
question because for the 2025 adopted, it had the total revenues at 1.5 million. And for 2026, it has us at 1.8.
Yeah.
So
you
that's an
back
addition-
out the number above it. The unexpended balance. That's from our own reserves. And when you exclude that number, we have 2025 of 1,000,000, I just did it, 1,246,720 versus 2026, 1,245,160. It's flat.
Yeah.
And that's the includes the allocated real property taxes. I suppose you could manipulate all of that. But that's the way it is right now.
Well, there's
So-
almost $175,000 transportation services to other governments.
Flat. Year over year. Budget.
Well, that's,
It's like we're
That-
bringing in
that's-
more than the budget.
that's through 6 months.
Well, I was just looking at the adopted budget versus the
But
projected. the
already
preliminary.
we're at 175,000 for this year.
Yeah, okay.
It's probably gonna be the same.
You guys can do what you want, but do it with full transparency to the town. But our current health insurance plan is, no one offers that, nobody.
Well, I see at least one plan above it, so I think somebody must offer it.
Well,
must have
somebody
it.
may, but other municipalities are offering far less. I checked. What's normal. I checked with our consultant as well. At what is normal, what is usual. And we have a richer offering for health insurance. Just saying. Just saying. You're fighting for something that's not sustainable. You know,
This is something we
employers
should
are
look at
picking lesser plans
earlier in the year.
and saying, you know, giving employees like, okay, we'll pay up to $10,000. We're paying 50 grand for somebody. I'm talking private businesses versus, you know,
Where
It-
were we on the middle one? The middle plan? We're on the top of the line right now, right?
right
Well,
now,
there's one above. Platinum two.
okay. Well, people are right now in Platinum 2 and Platinum 6 that the town has offered up to now. Platinum on both counts, and the town has been paying 90%. But do what you want, but no one's, you know, I'm just telling you
I
that
know,
no one
I'm
is
trying to see
offering
what-
that.
I don't have them bring that with me, so.
It's just a big number, that's all. And we're still trying to offer good benefits. I mean, you know, working municipal employees, you know, like I said, you're getting pension contributions, private sector does not, very few private sector jobs offer pensions anymore. That is gone. So it's not so bad working for a government entity if that's what you want. And this is the hard thing that everybody is dealing with today, this month, next month. We should be fair or raise taxes and tell people why.
We offer all these plans?
Did I?
No, what are we,
Those
We
were the
gotta-
plans that they talked about at the presentation.
which ones?
Those were the plans they talked about at the presentation.
Right, I remember that. Which ones do we offer to our employees right now? Should be
Platinum
one-
2 and
We should
Platinum
offer one
6.
base plan and let them pick from there, so. But what do we have right now? What do we,
Platinum 2 and Platinum 6.
okay,
And I was going with one of their suggestions to go to the gold 17 plan. And, you know, still a decent health insurance plan. The town stick with the 90% for now. And the town will save money. Employees' take-home pay will go up. Some people may have more costs. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
I do know they will.
What do you know?
I know one of the employees that's gonna have a significant, if it changes, a significant increase in what she has to pay. And that person has to pay,
Well,
to a point where that person probably would have to leave.
and do what?
I-
That
Find
particular
something-
person, if we're thinking of the same one, has gotten significant increases over the past 2 years alone from this town. And the person does, good job, but the town has bent over backwards the last couple of years to make things much better. Is there no value in that? We can't, gotta make the hard decisions sometimes. And just say, this is what we can afford to do. In this budget, we included, it's not even in, we have extra money we throw out for longevity. We pay to a health savings plan for employees. That's not even in these numbers to help offset some of this stuff.
Or we drop it to 85%. 5%, you see your it's going up 25%. All we're doing is saying, give us 5%. That's not, I mean,
I understand, but that's gonna result in a cut in pay.
Not necessarily. It may be an increase in pay for 10 other people. Have you thought of that?
How would that work?
Because the plan is less costly and they're paying in, 10% of a
thought
less
Luther-
costly
Luther was-
plan. It means that your take home goes up. It's simple math.
I thought Luther was talking about the same plan, just pay less into it. 85% as opposed to 90%.
He's
that what
saying
you're saying?
offer one plan, pick one, and I'm saying pick the goal and keep it at 90. Keeps our cost flat.
I mean, that sounds reasonable to me to pick a plan, stay at 90%.
And if they want the more expensive one, well, it's up to them. That's the way it works in everywhere else in the US universe.
That's what I thought, so
Right.
I think it needs to get looked into. I just think we need. I think we need to take the time to do it.
I agree with that.
Derek, you have a lot of experience with this. I mean, what would,
I agree. With what you said, Dan. I mean, it's just like doing it now, it just doesn't seem right.
Everybody's doing it now. Are you not looking
I'm-
at
I'm
plans for yourself?
Talking about our conversation about this
Yep.
is the point of it. We should have been having this conversation back in July. About
Right,
switching everything.
We didn't know it was gonna go up 25% a year ago. We didn't
Yeah,
have
but as
that-
soon as we found out it was going up 25%,
Good grant.
or we should have been looking for another broker. And if someone could have been doing something else. I'm not saying we don't look into it or look for another broker, or if there's some sort of consortium out there that we could join. But I think doing it right now is not the right choice. But moving forward, absolutely.
See,
I agree.
You have an opportunity
Well, we'll have the
to
opportunity
offer a
next year.
good plan and save the town over $60,000 on that one item.
And we're going through here. I mean, we're going through it line by line, trying to save money.
We haven't come up with much. Some,
we took over 70,000 just in. Just, yeah.
I haven't kept track of the net. We went up one
With-
and then
with the-
came
with
down
the-
others and
Right.
I'm
I
sorry.
actually
I'm
don't
not-
think I think that it just in the building department, we got rid of. Good chunk there.
Not much. But the point is, we have a very rich plan that nobody is offering, nobody, to my knowledge.
And we had for a long time, and
But oh
Next-
my
next
God,
year we
that
look
is
into
not
it.
a good enough reason. I'm sorry, do you have the exact same insurance that you had last year? Same price?
The one I do right now,
Yeah,
I do,
okay,
exact same price.
okay. For the same benefit?
Yep.
Okay, good for you.
It's the
So-
same
so-
benefit
so
I've
do I.
had.
through my wife, my benefits are very good and
No dollar change to you?
No.
Good for them.
$36,000 knee cost $50. Plus the medication.
Well,
That's through.
that
OC
still would be
OC's
covered.
too.
That still would be covered. Look, do what you want, but you guys explain to the public in the open. No more doing this stuff like every year. Don't
You've
talk
been here for
about.
4 years and we've done the same
And
thing
I
for
have
every year.
raised this
And we
same
all
thing
moved ahead
on
and
health
voted in favor.
insurance every single year.
Everyone has, and we end up
No
doing
one
the same
has
thing.
taken it up and
No one's-
forced the issue. No one.
No, no.
Sorry. But I'm just saying, take your vote, do it, but tell everybody that you're doing it. That's all.
I guess tell everybody that we're doing what?
That you're going to,
Continue the health plan that.
yeah,
they've-
at a
they've run for years.
Cadillac level plans, because that's what you want to do.
And so any employee moving forward only has the option of the gold.
Well, that's not,
I mean, if we.
I
have-
wasn't even changing the handbook. You got to do that. You guys can do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So any employee moving forward only has the option of the gold.
And we have 11 people that you're gonna pick up 400 grand on. $400,000 for 11 people.
I get, you're all about numbers. But at the end of the day, I mean, the individuals that work here do provide a service to the town. And
Not denying that. Wherever you work, you're providing a service. You know, we all think we do a good job, right?
You're right, but a lot of them are residents. They're also, they're dedicated. They give their all.
I mean, I
to
paid
every-
in for,
to every-
I paid in Social Security for 50 years. And they're reducing my Medicare plan. 50 years I paid in everything. And they're reducing what I get. So what am I gonna do about that? I gotta pay more. I have to have insurance. We're all looking at the same thing. This is the big conversation everywhere. Everywhere, across the board. Health insurance in the United States. It's a terrible thing.
It
I
is.
think it should be a lot cheaper for everybody. But that's not what exists currently.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay,
What
so
if we, just an idea, what if we pay 100% for the employee? You want a family plan? They pay the difference. They upgrade to the family plan,
some places do it that way.
right? We pay for the employee. They got a family, they can add on to it, but they pay that difference of the family plan.
You might as well post the ad tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding. That's.
Or come up with some,
On the gold 17. If
Formula
we're
on
paying
that.
for the employee. it's 1,000. Oh, that's what we pay. Gold 17, monthly rate for the town is 1175.81. For a family, it's 3350.105. So almost $2,000 difference. The employee would have to pick up.
So
$2,000 difference the employee would have to pick up if they wanted to include their family.
a year, what?
Monthly rate.
Monthly rate.
A lot of people can't take an extra $2,000 out of their paycheck and put it towards health insurance.
I'm just trying to kick things out.
I know, actually, it's the employee's cost is a little over $100 more a month.
Right, you got to deduct out of the family plan, you got to deduct what the single plan would be.
Yeah. The employee's contribution for a single plan under Gold 17 is almost $60, and a family plan is 167. So it's $100 a month. On the platinum plan, it's 116 for an employee. For a single employee, for a family plan, it's 330. $200 more. If we say with the same Platinum 6 coverage that they have now.
Hey, I'm open to ideas. I'm just trying to kick some
don't-
ideas around.
I don't think we pay anybody enough where they have an extra $200 a month for insurance.
So an employee and family annual cost in 2026. Well, that's if they pick up 75, I'm sorry. Yeah, they'd be. I gotta do the math. It's too many numbers here.
Gold 17 annual cost for an individual is $1,411, and for a family plan it's $4,000. The Platinum 6 is an individual, their annual cost is with 90% is $2,786. For a family, it's almost $5,000 more. Well, it's 8,000 compared to 2,700.
Yeah.
Make a suggestion. I've heard everything you've said at multiple workshops and this evening. I think someone needs to make a motion. And that motion gets voted up or it gets voted down. If the motion gets voted up, then you know what you're going to do. If the motion is voted down, then whoever was supportive of that motion has done everything they can. And they need to cease and desist. But you're going round and round and round.
Yeah.
To avoid making a decision. That's how it appears to me.
Me too.
If you need more time to look at these plans, do it. We've got time before we have to submit anything.
So what is your motion, Jim?
It doesn't need to be much, you just send it, because again, but it just, what do you wanna do on this topic? How do you wanna move it forward? But I get your point.
Do we need more discussion? I mean. We
I-
need to go, yeah, I know it's tough to make a decision this year. This comes up every year and we didn't honestly take a good look at it until the day before we had it, well, 2 days before we had to do something.
Yeah.
And that makes it extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, this is definitely gonna affect people's lives.
Yeah, with no input from anybody other than just
Yeah,
Brown and Brown. And
Yeah.
looking at this, we really had no, I don't feel comfortable making this decision on this short a notice. I say we move forward with how we have things set up now, and moving into next year, we start looking at different packages, seeing what's gonna work, communicating with our employees,
try to keep the employees involved in what's going on.
at least department heads. I agree.
Well, I just won't vote for it, but I'm one person. I can't in good conscience vote in a positive way for that.
I can't do it the other way. So I guess,
So
You wanna make a motion then?
Yeah, I think the fact that we got. According to Dan, we do get revenue back and it basically covers the cost of it. I am basically at your side of the fence on this here, but again, it's late in the day and late in the year, and we're trying to make major decision on this thing here, and I think we're better off starting with a new board, however that works out, and get on it first thing in the year and really figure this out. Because this is just, it's gotta come to a stop.
Yeah, I agree.
It's got to, because it's a snowball going downhill. It's not stopping. And no, like I said, nowhere else you're gonna find this, and the pay is right up there now. It used to be we offset the health because the pay was low. Now
Pay's
the
still
pay's
kinda
right
low.
up there. You know,
Sounds bad.
okay, so we wanna move forward on the budget then?
Okay.
pretty good compared to my guys.
Well, MEO step 2 is almost $2 less per hour, or step 5.
And that's round rate work. The guys aren't making out. Okay,
Now we're to the DA funds. Everyone in agreement on regular revenues on DAs. Page 13, I believe.
yeah, the only thing it'd be if there's anything you can do about the machinery and equipment.
the 377. We've already committed to buying.
Just saying, that's a big number. If there's anything in there that we don't need or,
It is, but I know like to that point. And DJ said it, a lot of these trucks that we are trading in are complete junk. There's no
Yeah.
resale value to them. And we're trying to get out of that.
that was the only other thing and other than the health insurance. You know, everything was. Yeah. I couldn't challenge the other, appropriations. I don't know enough about them.
I think the machinery portion, kind of like what Derek was just saying, in, I don't know if it was 2 or 3, but I guess 2 years ago when DJ was elected. I think he approached the board, if I remember correctly, and said that he provided us with a spreadsheet with equipment updates, and when he explained it to us at that point, to kind of Derek's point just now, is he wanted to try and get us on a better schedule for replacing equipment so that our cost of operating that equipment at the time to replace it would be pretty low because we would be able to generate enough revenue off of it for reselling it that it almost would cover the cost of purchasing it at the time. So it's one of those things, and I think the school district did it years ago because they had the same thing. They were buying pickups and lawnmowers and things of that nature. And when they went to get rid of them, they had no value. So they were getting $5,000 for a truck and spending $30,000 on a truck. And then they got, so every year they were updating certain pieces of equipment, and it was, you know, depending on what the equipment was, it might have been on a 5-year cycle for replacement, or maybe it was even longer, but it actually made more financial sense in the long run to do it that way. The downside to that is the first couple years, it's a lot to take on. So but in the long run, I think it's makes more financial sense to keep that stuff updated enough value. And
The problem is we did that when I was on the board before 2000. We had it set up, it was in place, and another town board changes hands, and then another one comes in, the next thing you know, that's gone.
But
It is the absolute best thing for the town to do it that way.
Yeah.
But if, it's just like here, things get lost over the course of 10 years, 15 years, the boards change.
Yeah.
Stuff goes to the wayside, right? They cut the budget here, they do that, and
And to that point, that's why we're eating it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the loader, the fenders were falling off of it and you could basically see through it.
And we replaced, this board here replaced some old equipment over there.
Yeah.
I mean, we were lucky they found deals on people who didn't pick up equipment and oversells or
Mhm.
used equipment that was in mint shape.
Yeah.
I know it's frustrating to the public because, you know, they see us buying a $300,000 truck or whatever, but we bought it because of the electric mandate. That's the last thing we really need in this town. There's not too many telephone poles with charging stations on them for that snowplow truck.
And the other problem with it is, at least in talking, I was part of the meeting where they met about the truck, and the truck salesman said even the electric trucks they have right now don't have the capacity to run the plow, run the salter, and do everything and do a full run before they need to be recharged. So it was just something where to us at the time, I remember us all talking about it, and it didn't make sense to pass up on what was a pretty good deal.
Right, and charging isn't like a car. It takes 10, 12 hours to charge these commercial vehicles.
I can't imagine, honestly, personally, that mandate is gonna come to pass, or it's not gonna be extended.
I mean,
just because it's not the range.
They haven't, from
doesn't
what
make
DJ said is they have not qualified highway vehicles as emergency vehicles. If they do, then it will be lifted, but until that point comes, they have not done that yet.
I mean, even school districts right now are petitioning the state
So
to
the school bus can't do 80% of Rush Henrietta's runs.
Correct.
An electric
There's not the range
So,
to have the.
It, I mean, we're kind of getting off track,
we're off track,
but it's, I
I'm
mean.
just saying,
we-
I doubt that the.
I mean, on the
enforce that
equipment end,
mandate
it's a
was-
lot more, but it was something, you know, that we didn't make that decision just on a whim. It was something like an opportunity presented itself. And we said, you know what, this is probably a smart way to move to take care of an issue that we could be dealing with in the future. So I think, I mean,
Yes, hopefully
But-
that'll drop back down again, but
Yeah.
Right.
it's like,
It's-
it
yeah.
jumps out as
Yeah.
a big number, so.
On the library,
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Library's pretty,
fine with everything on library.
pretty tight.
So I don't know what the numbers will look like with the additions and subtractions we made.
Probably take a look and see what the budget looks like with all the changes incorporated, so you can figure out, so then you can figure out if further tweaks are needed or if you have.
Yes. That's the purpose of that meeting.
So we're saying run the numbers based on the things we discussed and then we vote.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So we do have that on the calendar for
Yes,
next Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
You don't
Least-
have
at
another
least-
life, you have anything else to do?
At least it's just one meeting a week. I have planning board Tuesday, but.
Oh, there's still other items on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't back up so fast.
Are you getting ready to leave?
No, I knew I was not.
So we're on minutes.
Approval of the minutes,
Okay,
the September 24th meeting.
I so move. To approve town board minutes of Wednesday, September 24, 2025, as submitted by town clerk Hargrave. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Hi,
Yes.
Chase,
Hi.
Oliver.
Aye.
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 Workshop meetings from Monday the 6th.
I so move to approve town board workshop minutes of Monday, October 6, 2025, as submitted by town clerk Hargrave. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Hi,
Yes.
Chase,
Aye.
Supervisor Oliver.
Aye.
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 Regular meeting of Wednesday, town board meeting of Wednesday, October 8th.
I so move to approve town board minutes of Wednesday, October 8th, 2025, as submitted by Deputy Town Clerk Buchanan. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I know you made corrections that I sent you, but it's missing a crucial piece of information. That in my report to the town on a meeting with Horseshoe Solar, the first one, where we talked about the change in schedule on the boring, we need to add that the schedule has changed and they are accelerating the schedule on that to start November 2025. That was the whole purpose of the meeting. So that's important to add to the minutes.
Change it, adjusted,
I'm fine with
or to be adjusted as stated.
As amended.
approve as amended.
Can you change that? Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Chase,
Aye.
Vice Oliver,
Aye.
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
And the workshop of October 14th.
I so move to approve town board minutes of October 14, 2025, as submitted by town clerk Hargrave. Do I have a second?
No second.
Aye.
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 Brown,
Abstain.
Approval of the abstract.
Having reviewed all the vouchers on abstract 10-2 dated October 22nd, 2025. I authorize payment totaling $57,197.63, which includes Fund AA General for $23,464.04. DA Highway Townwide for $27,156.75. HH Capital Projects Fund for $184.80. And LL Library for $6,392.04. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Aye.
Yes.
Chase,
Aye.
Vice Oliver,
Aye.
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Board of Officers. Deputy Supervisor Chase.
All I have for right now is, I guess I attended the, presentation that Brown and Brown put on Monday night. We got a bunch of different offers, but as we discussed tonight, I think that we need to, further those discussions, so.
Councilperson Morelli.
Thank you. So yes, I also attended the meeting on October 14th. It was a special meeting for purpose of the health insurance consultants giving us a presentation. I also participated in a conference call with Supervisor Willover and Todd Nobby of Horseshoe Solar. Invenergy is the company regarding the Horseshoe Solar project. They gave us an update. Their compliance filings with ORES were submitted on October 10th. Their anticipated construction date is November 17th, which will depend on approval by ORES. They are scheduled, or they have scheduled, a pre-construction meeting between the DEC, ORES, Ag and Markets, DPS, county officials, county highway superintendent, town officials, town highway supervisor. And so that includes Dan and I invited, and it's going to take place next Monday, November 3rd, at the Caledonia Library at 11 a.m. So we plan on being there. The Horseshoe Solar staff will be there, and their pre-construction team, their construction manager and contractor / subcontractor will be there. The subcontractor performing the work will attend to discuss the drilling process. So they are going to send out invitations to all of those above people by today. They anticipate by today. They are also going to be sending out construction notices to residents within a 1-mile radius by next week. They are going to send them draft notices and a map that's going to be ready by the end of this week. I asked that they send us a copy of what they're gonna be sending out, and they said that they would do that. Todd Nobby from Invenergy is planning to attend the next Town of Rush regular board meeting on November 12th to
Yes.
give an update to the town. Their construction route in Rush is intended to come down 390, go across 251 to East River Road to Gola. That's the path. And they're, going to be keeping the highway superintendent apprised of all of this. He's calling him.
DJ met with them today.
Oh, okay,
I wasn't available, so.
okay, good.
I get
Okay,
some-
yeah, they
some
said that
folks
they
tomorrow.
were gonna reach out to him.
Yeah,
Okay,
they met today.
okay, good. Then he talked about water well testing. Now, as part of this whole overall project, we're supposed to have started well testing within, I think, a mile radius of the whole project. All the residences, all the wells. They never got that going. They started, it fell off, they didn't complete it. I don't know what happened there, but everything got suspended. So now Todd Nobby told us that they were doing well testing, and he said to us that the well testing for the scope of this boring project was a 100-foot radius from where they're gonna start their drilling, 100 feet. And they said, there's no wells
Who
within
made that
100 feet.
decision?
And I said to him, I have a big concern with that because it's my understanding, according to the plan with the town, I believe, my recollection was that no, before they can start any work, they have to complete the well testing on the whole project, because we have to have some baseline here before they start disturbing anything.
Yeah.
He wasn't sure about that. And then he finally agreed that he would go back and check with their consultant to check the siting permit and 94C regulations. I have not heard anything back. Have you? So, I think it's something that we have to be pretty firm about. That's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah.
Going down, I don't know where the aquifers are. Where they're gonna be drilling down 70 feet. And then all the way across the river, under the river, and all the way across to the other side of the railroad tracks. And I don't know what's under there at that depth, what we're gonna be disturbing potentially. So I think, my opinion, and I think, and you agreed that we have to get our town engineers involved too and up to speed. So they gotta be brought on board.
I contacted them.
You contacted them? Okay. So you could send them everything we have. We've got all the documents, road use agreement, the host community agreement, the map, everything. I think it should be all on our website. Hopefully, or you have a book in your office, I think.
Yeah.
With all kinds of stuff. That we've got to insist that they test the wells. Because otherwise, all that information, we'll never have any information to go by.
Yeah.
If there's a problem, if they screw up.
Yep.
If they hit something,
No,
I
agree.
don't know.
If they're supposed to start before they start any project.
Yeah.
That's when you gotta have it done before they.
Yep.
Disturb anything. That's your baseline, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna jump in here because I'm gonna jump my turn.
Oh, you're next anyway.
I sent you all a picture of our farm. And on our farm, Dan got Livingston County Soil and Waters to come up. But we have approximately a 1 acre area that sink 4 to 5 feet. Around rock. All right, and they're gonna come up and they're gonna try to determine why and how deep it's gonna keep going. Thank God there's no houses on it. All right, farm field, so it's gone forever. I'll never be able to farm it. Right? So 20 years ago, anybody think planes flying into the World Trade Center? No. 5 years ago, you tell me I was gonna have a sinkhole in my field? I'll tell you, you're crazy. We farmed that land for 200 years. Now you're gonna send 7, 8-inch tubes 70 feet across the river. Everybody's telling me it's gonna be okay. I won't trust them as far as I go walk out the door. Right? So we want to make sure that they do due diligence.
Yeah.
To protect the people in Rush. In that area over there.
Yep.
And not only with well water, there should be a time limit that. Because it might take, sometimes when you work in rock, it's instant. Other times. Takes time for it to change course. But we want to make sure we got them tested and we know what's going on for these people.
Yep.
We gotta protect them. So. That's my 2 cents on that. Now I'll wait my turn and I go back to the other stuff.
Thank you. I think we're all.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we're all in agreement on that.
Finally.
I knew we could find something. So that's my report and, I'll give you this copy.
All right, Luther, you can finish.
All right, so on top of that, I've noticed, and I wanted to say it last meeting, but, I didn't get a chance. The riverbanks on the Rush Creek up here, I don't know, the highway department did the clearing up there, but it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a way we can make it look like that, lining it with riprap or something, but I would like to see us try to
Do something.
with that, because I think that just made it look like night and day difference there. I also attended the fire commissioners, meeting last night, Joanne. They approved their budget, they stayed under the 2%. And there is quite a few town people there. And, it was a interesting meeting, a lot going on. And, so that's where they are with that, so their budget stayed unchanged.
Okay.
I think that's all I got.
Derek?
Just zoning board met last Thursday and they had one application in front of them, but it was approved, so. And I was unable to attend the meeting last week because I had a family emergency.
Okay, Annette?
Submitted September town clerk monthly revenue report to the supervisor with a check for $21,783.91. Its state revenue fund submitted for $2,127.19. The state revenue increased because of 100 licensed sales. Our IT technicians fixed the YouTube disconnect from our town website. Although the meetings were loaded and available on YouTube, they would not load properly onto the town account. We had quite a struggle with that. We thank you all for your patience. And I just want to reiterate to the board, public, that the resolution submitted are proposed resolutions that the board may or may not be adopted, and ones that can be altered by town board approval. Board members can also move to create resolutions.
Thank you. Kevin?
No reports.
Attended the PRC meeting. We discussed 2 different plans going to the planning board. That was Todd and councilperson Morelli about energy and about the boring schedule moving forward. I attended the Monroe County Supervisors meeting last Friday and attended the Brown and Brown presentation on Monday, whatever. All right,
What did the supervisors talk about?
taxes. Trying to stay under the 2%. That was the main thing.
How many towns are able to, would they disclose any of that? Or they're probably not, it's not for sure yet, so maybe they couldn't, but.
They're mostly staying under.
Okay.
It's it's just interesting to the monies that they talk about, and the monies that we have.
Oh.
It's,
Yeah,
it's like that, just pay for it. But it's always interesting. It's always the same things that we're going through. It's just on a bigger scale. And they did talk about passing the law early in the year about extending or going over the tax cap just in case you need to have.
Do a lot of them do that?
I
The,
don't think
the
so.
guy from Ogden said it was on the books when he took office and he took it off because he thought it was foolish. Now he wishes it was on there.
I like doing it, I like doing it when it's closer and you have a better idea personally.
Yeah, no kid, but that's just the way they were talking.
Yeah, and I know that I heard a lot of fire districts automatically do it in their organizational meeting minutes. So that if they'd have to do it, then they can just move forward with it, but
I know, but it
I
takes away from the public.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
But that's why we did.
Yeah.
To be transparent about.
well, you have to do it,
Yeah.
but to keep it more in line when you're actually discussing the budget.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it all kind of lines up.
Right.
All right, old business. Need a resolution for the maximum income level for senior citizens for next year's taxes.
For you that we potentially, because that public hearing was kept open,
Oh,
we wanted to close
I forgot.
again. The only change from, again, this started back in April, and the income, changing the income levels, the maximum allowable was kind of I think that was the general consensus.
That's what we were doing, but
We wanted to keep it open and explore the opportunity of whether or not we wanted to include other sources and income. So the only difference of what is presented now versus then was simply the addition of the retirement income from IRAs considered income for our purposes.
yes,
So that was only change to it, but I wanted to keep the public hearing open for that
For that.
reason, just so that people could see it. Just so that, just make sure there was no further discussion on it, but it was, that was the only modification, but so we would need to
Close.
close the public hearing. I would make sure there's no other further comment on it, of course, but we have to close the public hearing before you take the vote on that.
any comment on ready to make a motion?
Oh, we do. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. We got one.
David McGlashan, April Lane. Just looking at it, I find it interesting that if you look from the 52,000 point to the 57,500 point, it's only a differential of $5,000 in income. But that's a 30% difference in the impact on their taxes. I just find that a little alarming that it's such a big difference for really $5,000 nowadays isn't gonna help someone that long over the course of a year. So I feel like almost the people losing out at 57,000 are losing out pretty heftily. Like to have a 30% differential from someone with 52,000, but that was the only comment I really saw. So thanks.
And this is kind of statutory based, and of course, we don't have a lot of flexibility
Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Yes.
She still has that hat.
Councilperson Guys,
Yes.
Councilperson Chase,
Yes, aye.
Yes.
You go.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now we need a resolution to adopt the local law.
Resolution of the town board of the town of Rush regarding local law number to be determined of 2025 to amend chapter 103-2 of the town code of the town of Rush by regarding the maximum income eligibility levels, senior citizens exemption. Whereas the town board of the town of Rush, the town board has determined that it is in the interest of the town of Rush to amend the code of the town of Rush by deleting chapters 103-2 of the town code and replacing it in its entirety regarding the maximum income eligibility levels for the senior citizens exemption. And whereas a public hearing on local law number to be determined of 2025 was held on April 9th, 2025, in accordance with the requirements of the New York Municipal Home Rule Law, and notice was posted as required by law. Whereas all persons at the hearing desiring to speak on the matter were heard, all correspondence on the matter was read, and these statements were considered by the town board. Now therefore be it resolved that the adoption of local law to be determined of 2025 is not an action as defined under the New York State Environment Quality Review Act, Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, and 6 NYCRR of Part 617 collectively referred to as seeker and thus not subject to review under seeker. And be it further resolved upon due consideration by the town board, local law number to be determined of 2025, a copy of which is attached and incorporated hereto, is hereby adopted, in that chapter 103-2 of the town code shall be amended as reflected in the local law number to be determined of 2025, and be it further resolved that notice of the resolution shall be filed and circulated to the extent required by any applicable provisions of the town code and or any relevant statutes or regulation. And be it further resolved that said resolution and local law shall take effect immediately upon town clerk submitting the same to the office of the Secretary of State for filing in accordance with section 27 of the New York State Municipal Home Rule Law. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Can you tell us what the law says?
Sorry.
What does the new law say?
But it changed the income levels so that the maximum amount of the income was increased to 15,400, and it was 30, I believe it was set to go back, it was originally 36,000.
Right.
We're increasing the maximum income level out, and we're making a designation that we're including IRA distribution
As income, okay.
That's all. So basically, it's taking the existing code section and amending the chart. and
Right,
updating that.
but we didn't attach it, so I want
Oh,
to
I'm
make
sorry,
sure we,
I thought it was.
no.
When I sent it, I sent that with the local law behind it.
Okay, I
So
didn't
they-
see it. It's not here.
I can send it so they.
Okay.
But basically, what was posted, it's all in one.
So that needs to be posted too, because we don't have it.
I thought it should have been posted. It was supposed, I sent it so it'd be posted to the website, the actual law itself.
I don't know. I didn't have it and I want to make sure that,
Okay.
I mean, that's what we had kind of agreed last time and we
Yeah,
left it.
that's
Okay.
why I did this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's-
I don't know.
Didn't understand it.
Yeah, that wasn't in our packet.
Yeah, 58-4.
This is,
Okay,
this is what it is, what was said. So it shows the new chart.
Yeah,
With the income levels and then the addition regarding the income.
what's included in
Right, so-
income.
And it's in the back of it's attached to the resolution at the back of it.
Okay,
So I apologize, it wasn't.
okay.
put up like that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Where this was. Okay,
The-
all right.
This is.
Can't really do anything. Yep.
Oh,
Shit, just make sure it's hung up. We haven't talked about this for quite a while, so.
I just want to make sure I like
I
it.
know.
quick.
I was, when you asked the question, I was like, weird. No, it makes
Thank you. Yeah, no, I did not have that, so that's why I asked, like, what are we saying? Okay, And it needs to go on the website too,
Yep.
in case it isn't, I didn't check. All right, thank you, I'm sorry, we can vote.
No, it was a very good question.
Okay,
Councilperson Kais,
Yes.
Councilperson Chase,
Aye.
President Wilbur,
Aye.
President Morelli,
aye,
Aye.
Now we need a resolution to accept the amended grant amount for one pickleball court. The foundation didn't have enough money for two for us, and we're spreading out the total funds they had among more communities, so there's a chance they will pay for one pickleball court for us.
okay,
Pat has contacted Senator Helming, and there's a chance we can get money for a second one. So just, it's another grant that,
so this is just accepting,
it's just.
and we're gonna accept the grant, but
And-
we still didn't pick out a location.
No, we have, but there's a chance that we could get money for one pickleball court,
Okay,
and they would like to know if we would accept it.
yeah. And then we can still
Yes,
put it where we think is the best place,
yes,
Mhm.
yep.
okay?
I can, in Henrietta Town Rec Center, there's
Yes,
3 courts on 1 basketball court. That's how small they are.
wow,
They're pretty tiny.
yeah.
So just to put in perspective. I so move to approve the grant from the Greater Rochester Community Foundation totaling $37,500 for a pickleball court. Funds in the amount of $22,970 from the Recreation Capital Fund will contribute to the total cost. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Person Kais,
Aye.
Chase,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Then we need a resolution to post the RFP for building number 7 for electric.
I'll make a motion to post a request for proposal RFP for building number 7 located at White Springs Farm, 6565 East River Road, Rush, New York, for electric utilities pending attorney review. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Kais,
Aye.
Chase,
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
Just to clarify, assuming the RFPs come back in a relatively quick manner, they'll be paid for by the grant that we have for that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Aye.
Yeah. I go forward. And finally, I need a resolution to approve for me to send a letter in favor of a donation of 40, well, not a donation, but expanding the Oak Openings unique area by 47 acres.
We own 47 acres over in.
We don't
It's not
know,
ours.
but
no, it's
some-
a private sale.
somebody wants to sell it to DEC to expand that holding. And they want a letter of
Support
support
from
from
the
the
town.
town.
Because
Yeah.
it will affect our tax base
It's gonna take some money off the taxes.
because it'll be state property at that point.
What is it now? Residential?
Yeah, it's probably, it's zoned resident, but it's all open land, so I don't,
There's no house on it, right?
Yeah.
It's just vacant land.
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking,
Where is?
right,
West Henrietta Road, across from Warner's Farm,
Yep.
there's a house, it's around that house.
Oh.
And then it goes back over to, Falls 5 Points. Right?
it's all, you know where Uzi's place used to be?
Yeah.
It's kind of behind, it was Uzi's, right? But
I-
it was part of it, maybe?
His sister apparently owns the lot that runs
Yeah.
behind it.
But it's all connected to the existing state land.
I was just wondering where it was.
Yeah. So I think it's got state land on what? 2 sides of it, on the south side and then on the east side of it. So,
So it'll hurt us a little bit, but
It'll add to that unique area. A lot of people go in.
I've been through there.
I haven't been in a while.
don't they have to burn the grass every so often?
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
year,
They bring in helicopter training too. State does.
During the
Watch
burn
out coming
ban.
down. What?
Good time to do it.
It's doing the burn ban is when they do it.
They usually send, tell all the neighbors, because then you're like, oh my God, there's a fire.
If you're from around there, you see it.
I so move to approve supervisor's submission of support in the sale of 47 acres of land to increase the size of the Rush Oak openings located at 345 High Falls 5 Points Road. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Yes.
Aye.
President Wilbur,
Aye.
Christopher Rowley,
Aye.
Brown,
Aye.
Yeah, my husband is the volunteer that maintains the trail. He cuts the for brush for fire control.
Oh, yeah.
He goes
Oh.
through with his tractor and
Okay, parameter.
keeps it trimmed where they want it.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
He's got a cabbage rat.
Are
Very
you gonna make a
Must have
motion?
hit like a yellow jacket. Huh?
Close the meeting.
It's not, it's out there and he
Having
comes all
completed all
all
the
cut up.
town business for tonight, I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Aye.
Yeah.
All in favor.
All in favor.
yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
If you wanna announce meetings coming up.
Oh. There'll be a conservation board meeting on November 13th, the zoning board meeting on the 20th,
Meetings 10:28.
and there will be a planning board meetings 10/28.
And the
Special meeting